Hi,
We
hi.
have a
Hello, everyone.
we have a wine basement, a wine cellar.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, all right.
This house is. I didn't tour this house before I got it because it was very cheap. So I was, yeah, I'm going to buy it.
You bought this place?
Yeah, it was very cheap.
What do you mean you bought this place? I've looked outside on the roof. The entire surrounding area is a friggin' crater with like broken buildings.
That is not going to stop capitalism.
Well, you are right. There was a guy who said he was like the HOA president, but I'm pretty sure he was a meth fiend.
Yeah, or a ghost. I don't know. Maybe this place is haunted.
Uh,
I'll give
uh.
him weird voices. Also, thank you for the 5 months. Thank you for the 5 months star. Thank you.
I'm not jealous. This has become my house too because she just drags me everywhere.
Yeah,
She
he's
doesn't
trapped
even let
here.
me
He cannot
sleep
leave.
normally. She just injects syringes and then I wake up later.
Yeah, on a different room. We keep finding rooms.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
It's
like the
kind of
House of
cool.
Leaves.
Wish we could find a room with a TV though.
Yeah. Have you read this book, House of Leaves?
No, I think you might have mentioned it at least once because there are a few books that you've mentioned to me.
House of Leaves, it's really good, but it's one of those things that, like, I don't know. I feel like you need like a hardback, like a physical copy of that book because
Hmm.
it does some stuff that doesn't work unless you are like physically turning the page.
That's a really interesting way to go for that. Well, what did you expect to happen when you married her? Hey, listen, that marriage thing, she played dirty. She literally, we literally had a bet, and she won. And now you're right.
Yeah, and now he's trapped here forever.
Okay,
Remember, I
fair.
am immortal.
she's my, she's my babe after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So busy week, huh? A lot of announcements, and not a lot I care about.
Oh my god. For any of those who watched like today's group of directs, there's just so many games that good news on today. I don't think we're going to be talking about the ones from today because there's just too many.
Yeah, I think we're
Candy
better
was
if we
from
if we like
PlayStation.
focus on like PlayStation
Yeah.
and Summer Game Fest.
So if you guys care about, yeah, it's Summer Game Fest. If you guys care about like indie games and a lot of varied spread, there was a lot of stuff today in the Wholesome Wholesome Showcase.
How many farming
Wholesome
games?
games? A lot. There's Wholesome games, then there was the Latin American one. There was
I didn't
the
know we
the
made
green
games.
game. There, yeah. Well, no. Last year they had a presentation and they probably stood out the most with some of the most fun songs.
Actually,
Songs,
no,
games.
now that I remember, Valhalla is from Venezuela. You remember that game? We played
Yeah,
it together.
yeah, yeah.
That game is from
Um,
Venezuela.
Southern Eastern Asian games. There was an Australian one with a Winnie the Pooh Resident Evil like monster as your protag, I guess, and future game future games, which was about like 2 hours. But if you guys care about indie games, there was a lot of variety, and you can look into them. I watched through most of them. A lot of like, there's a good portion of them that do look lovingly made, but not a lot of it appealed to me just personally. But like, there were a few gems that I liked. There was some Mega Man Zero X, sorry
Yeah.
ZX likes and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what happened to Silk Song? Deadpool killed it. Deadpool got on stage and
Deadpool,
canceled
yeah,
seeing Silk Song.
Deadpool made fun of it. So yeah, we watched. What was it? Which one was it? Was it the actual Summer Game Fest
Yeah, it was the actual
yesterday?
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, yeah, because it was yesterday. Like Candy, me, our friend Dura, and our friend Prude were all watching it, and our friend Flem. And the Deadpool one has a letter handed to Keeley, and he reads it, and he name drops like, "I need you to shove aside the Silk Song trailer to put my game." And then we kind of laughed a bit, and then like the Deadpool game came out, and then Dura and I were wondering, it's like they wouldn't just outright actively disrespect Silksong, right? Is there at least some sort of news? And then after that, there's just no Silksong announcement.
Yeah, that is
So
the
it
only
just
time they mention
sings
Silk
more.
Song.
Yeah, so the bit's way stronger,
Yeah, because
which
they
is perfect.
because they did pull a little they did pull a little fake out with the Resident Evil thing.
Yeah,
like like
yeah, they
like
did.
midway through the show, the producer of the Resident Evil series shows up with like a 30-year anniversary message, and he goes like, "Thank you all for your continued support. We will have news soon," and then he just leaves. and the show and they just like keep showing more other games, and like it's like, did you just come here to like say thank you? Do you have nothing to show? And then the last game of the show is Resident Evil 9. So it's like, oh, you got me, you got me, you got me. And I guess that works because they actually showed a game. So he's like, you got me. Because if they didn't show a game, it would have been a little bit disrespectful, I think.
Yeah, but they did. I forget if it's a VR game or if it's just like.
No, it's Resident Evil.
Because it is first person.
Oh no, the Deadpool game.
Oh
the
no,
Deadpool game is
Deadpool.
The Deadpool game is a VR game. It's a Facebook.
Yeah.
It's a Facebook Quest exclusive.
RE9 was cool. RE9, the main character, is like the daughter of
like one of the
Outbreak.
she's like the daughter of like Dana, I think is her name, Ashcroft.
Which
She's
is
from
an
Outbreak.
interesting poll. But hey.
So I guess like this is like more of a direct sequel to like Outbreak specifically, maybe.
Which is weird though, because they still use the numeration for 9, but they just call it Requiem.
Yeah, but like they did that with Village too. Like Resident Evil 8 is Village with like the 8.
Is the 9 in the queue?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the 9 is the queue, and you know, remember in Village the 8 is the
VII.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like they do that.
VIL. Yeah.
And actually, I think in Resident Evil 7 they also did that with like an Arabic numeral instead of a Roman numeral. In Resident Evil 7, you know, like it is like the thing they did with like the other subtitle. The other name is the subtitle. So like here in the West, it's called Resident Evil.
Biohazard's 7Z. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
like Z has 7. Yeah.
Is the 7 in Biohazard. So I guess they're doing that. I guess they learned that doing that is better than the logo of 6.
Yeah.
The giraffe getting a blowjob.
Yeah.
I'm going to show it on stream. Like, you guys have to agree with me on this because I'm right and you know it.
What other shit was in the Game Fest? There was like the quote unquote GTA competitor, Mind's Eye. There was.
Yeah, the game I think looks like a fake game.
Yeah, it does.
That game doesn't look like a real game.
Also, the weird one was like Atomic Hearts 2 looking like it had so much budget.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Atomic Hearts made that much money.
I mean, maybe it is a
that much money in
reserve. Look at it. It is a giraffe getting a blowjob.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I don't know. Maybe Atomic Heart is a Russian psyop. I don't know.
And then, but at the same time, they're also running a concurrent MMO.
Yeah, that looks very, very horny. Like half of the trailer was us.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it was. What were we talking about? Great, now my brain.
No, but like going back to like the Mind Eye game. Oh, that game is fucked. The game is fucked. I think the devs said something or the publishers said something along the lines of just like, oh, we've been suppressed because they're taken seriously as a real GTA competitor. No, and like they are actually accusing Rockstar of like paying money to worry their game.
I don't think Rockstar ever has to worry. Your house.
Yeah, like that is the thing. Like who do you think you are? How much ego?
Yeah.
How much ego do you need to have to think Rockstar gives a fuck about your fucking game?
To be fair, this sounds like dangerously close to like Carmack days. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the egocentric kind of like dev, but like you don't have anything to back it up. At least Carmack had like, what was it? How's my brain forgetting? You know the one that Carmack made. Fuck, what is
Doom?
it? Yeah, my brain. I'm so tired. Before he made Daikatana.
Yeah, and also no, but like Daikatana was Romero, not Carmack.
Oh, right.
Carmack was the engine guy.
Right?
Carmack was the engine guy.
Yeah.
Carmack was the guy who invented 3D graphics.
Yeah. Carmack was like, okay. Romero was, yeah, all right.
Because it's so funny, like you know, like the difference, like how different it is, like being like boastful when just for like the sake of it, and being boastful when you actually have the skill for it.
Yeah.
Because
well, like Romero,
there is this story about like the early 80s when John Carmack was like young and he went to a convention and he saw a game using that like pseudo 3D technology they use like for Doom on Wolfenstein, right? And he looked at it and he literally just went to the guy who made that game looked at him in the eyes and went, I can make an engine better than that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he did.
Well, yeah, I know, because id Software was like had two powerhouse talents.
Actually,
we kind of saw
like,
the split.
yeah, like, I mean, like if you actually look at the names, like a lot of the people on id Software like became personalities on their own.
Yeah.
Like American McGee was there too.
Mm.
And apparently, it's super funny. You can tell like American McGee was like on the office just like smoking all day because his levels are always like the weirdest ones.
Yeah. Whereas like Romero came out and like bro is trying to show the rock star life of like a dev,
Yeah,
and then Daikatana just sucked and it
yeah.
all crashed and burned.
The funny thing is that Daikatana is what like if you actually read the stories of Daikatana is what the first Quake game was originally supposed to be.
Wasn't there like some promotion where he's like, John's about to make you his bitch?
Yeah, John Romero is about to make you his bitch.
Yeah.
And apparently he
I
didn't sign up
remember
on that.
That's pretty funny.
No, yeah, that time was really funny for like.
It was.
I'm just I think like I don't know. I feel like most of the best games came out in like late 90s, early 2000s. So it was just a good time.
I mean, 2008 was a really good year for games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but like Mind's Eye looks like a fake game. I don't care like what anyone
It
says.
does. I don't give like two shits about it. Like one, the protagonist and the characters look pretty boring. I don't know. There wasn't anything that stuck out to me.
It just looks like a game from 2007 with like modern graphics.
There are games that just look that border on parody.
Yeah.
Like you just look at it and you're like, this feels like this is a bit from a show I would watch or something.
Yeah, this feels like a fake game they play on Law and Order. Like you know like they go to like they are investigating like some slimy dude, some slimy teenager, and they go to his house and he's playing this game and he doesn't look at them when he talks. Like
yeah,
that's
totally
the scene.
What else was there?
That reminds me. There is
Mortal
this movie.
Shell 2?
There is this movie. It's called The Book of Henry, and it is a horrible movie. Mm-hmm. It is a mess. It is horrible, but it is a horrible in a really funny way, right? Because it's about this kid who like starts having seizure. It is this kid who is like a genius, right?
Yeah.
He's so smart and he's the breadwinner of the house, despite the fact that he's going to school. What he does, and this is an actual scene from the game, from the movie. I mean, what he does is that during the lunch break at school, he goes outside, he goes to a payphone, he calls up like the stock market, and he trades stocks. And that's okay. and that is the reason he's the breadwinner of the house.
All right.
It is a mess. And the kid is convinced that his neighbor is abusing his daughter, right? So what he does is like, he gets sick, and he gets like, and he dies, right? But before he dies, he makes like a whole plan with like instructions he leaves for his mom to kill his neighbor. He writes like a whole plan. Like mom, when I die, kill the neighbor. Following these exact steps, and you will be able to get away with it.
Jesus.
And then she almost does it. She goes like, oh, and it's so funny. And it's so funny. And there is this scene. That he comes home. And his mom is like just sitting on the couch playing a video game. And he gets angry at her because she's playing a video game. And it's supposed to, and it's supposed to make him look like the adult of the house. But like it doesn't work because like you have no money problems. She doesn't have to go to work. And like
that's true. And
like the house is clean. There is food. Like she made him like. She's not abandoning you. She's just like playing a fucking video game, dude. Everyone does that.
Yeah. Also, like you've secured money for the whole house, and you yourself don't have to work. Why are you?
Yeah, she's just playing a video game. But like the
It's
reason I
like
remember that is because like I
yeah.
think it's the only time in a movie I've seen someone playing an actual video game.
There are
She's
other
play,
video games that, I mean,
she was
movies that
playing
do
she
that,
was
I'm
playing
sure.
Gears of War.
She was playing what?
Gears of War.
Oh.
I don't know which one because I never played any of those games, so I don't recognize them.
There's a movie called Journey to Hell, which is like a Christian propaganda movie that's really funny because it's like so tone deaf because like you know how like a character dies and then they go to heaven or something and it has to change their whole worldview and assert how they have to change as a person because they talk to God. This is the opposite where the guy was an asshole and then he dies and goes to hell and that's how he has to change his life.
Yeah,
And like he's a rich businessman of an ambiguous business and he's kind of cutthroat
yeah,
and his wife is like an adamant Catholic or Christian or whatever.
yeah,
And she's doing the whole holier than thou speech, going like, "Funny, you could be using that money to help people." And it's like, "Bitch, you're married to him. Why don't you use some of that money? You're
yeah,
going a shopping spree." Like, yeah, like you can play this card, but you're raking in the dough too.
yeah.
Don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, so
Because
what
at least
other
like the main
thing?
character, he's a piece of shit, but he can admit he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate the honesty. Like that is like when a character is a horrible person, but they admit they're a horrible person and they don't try to hide it. I kind of like them. It's like I
Yeah.
appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, it's just funny. I find it like such a stupid thing to like go like it's like oh wow but look at you and it's like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't play. Um.
Okay, so
Yeah. Go ahead.
they shadow dropped DLC for Lies of P.
All right.
Uh, which I probably played that at some point because I did play the demo and it was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you know like I am a whore for parries,
Yep.
and that game is like super parry heavy. Like the first boss, which is the boss you play on the demo. If you get good at parrying him, you can literally kill him without moving.
Mm.
You
Well,
can
you know
literally
what?
you
Okay.
can literally just like stand in the middle of the arena and like parry all of his attacks and kill him. It's great.
I'm just looking through the list that our friend Flem made for it. Let's see. There was that shoot 'em up, not shoot 'em up. Arcade shooter that was like Disney style, old Disney animation call style.
Oh
I forgot
yeah,
what it was
the
called.
mouse,
Yeah, Mouse
the mouse one.
PI.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there was the
that looked
yeah.
interesting, I guess.
There was the other one that was kind of like Disney animated, where it's just Cuphead, where the Satan is fucking with you. Into the Unwell.
Oh yeah, I did really
That one
like the way
actually
that
had
game
a
looked.
yeah. I also like its name. We went through some like boring named ones. Like there's a Chronicle Medieval,
Yeah, like
like for real.
there is a game called Chronicles
Oh,
Medieval. Like
by Raw Power Games. Like that also feels like parody. Like that
yeah,
doesn't feel real. Yeah.
and they didn't even show
Uh
like any actual gameplay of it. It was just like a fucking cinematic, which is like that is a whole thing. Can we please stop showing cinematics, please?
no, because we didn't work on the actual gameplay.
Like I don't care. You are basically showing me nothing. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip all the cutscenes
Yeah.
anyway. Because that's how I play games.
Okay. Do you hate a cinematic more than you just hate a title drop? Like just the black screen going this game name releasing.
I hate the
or like
cinematic more. I hate the cinematic
I
more
do too
because it's
because
a
it
waste
wastes
of
more
effort.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just waste more time. Yeah. Mm,
But like honestly, like just like my opinion is that like games should not be announced like more than 6 months before they come out.
there was also
Because otherwise you get fucking silk some.
we
Just
also
like,
had
like
like
if you're not sure the game is coming out in 6 months, don't announce it. Don't announce it.
yeah, don't. Well, can everyone afford like a stealth announcement? I mean, to be fair, Hi-Fi Rush did a stealth one.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, it's a
But that
shame
might
that
also be
it's
why
a,
it
it's a
didn't
shame that,
sell
that it's a
as
shame that
much.
that IP is owned by like a crypto company now.
Oh, that sucks so fucking bad. Scott Pilgrim got an EX, which is interesting. It's like a sequel, and they got the original writer.
Yeah, and they got the importantly they got the original composers too. So the soundtrack is going to be a banger again.
The first Descendant continues to catch my attention for a variety of reasons.
I can think
Yeah.
of 4 reasons.
Yeah.
4 reasons, two up here
Uh
and two down there.
there was that game Scum that you told me had a shitting mechanic, and then they actually just showed like bare asses before they were about to like poop on someone,
Yeah.
which was like okay. Um
Yeah, as far as I understand, that game is like, what if like a battle royale was just like like gross and like mean.
yeah. We had Guild Wars 2 announcement stuff. We had a Wu-Tang game.
Yeah, like which, I mean,
Wu-Tang after Wu-Shang.
yeah, that is the idea of multiculturalism, I guess.
Yeah.
They
Wu-Shang
announced,
being like a Souls-like with more action-oriented combat. Street Fighter 6 DLC with Kenny Omega. Mecha Break footage. Those mechs still look beautiful.
the pilots too.
Yeah, yeah. We
Like, I don't
had
know, like,
ill.
like
Yeah.
it's a fucking mech game. It's a like Mecharic is a fucking mech game. You never play as the pilot, and yet they put all the effort to like you literally cannot get out of the mech. You never play as the pilot, but they put all the effort to like make you just let you make like a really hot lady with like very bouncy ass, and it's like I respect that. I appreciate it. At
I
least you're being
respect that
honest.
too. Yeah. We got Fortnite stuff. We got Mortal Shell 2 footage. Hideo on stage is obvious. Yeah,
Mm.
thank God it was early on because no, I don't care. For
They
Death
show more
Stranding
Onimusha.
2, yeah, they showed more Onimusha. They showed Sonic Racing Cross World and it has Miku, Joker, and Ichiban, which is kind of neat. I thought
Yeah,
that was cute.
I hope they put like more Sega properties in there.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they put like
Um,
I hope they put the metaphor with Fantasio guy and he's just like surfing his sword, because like that is
Dune
that
Awakening.
because like
Yeah, go ahead.
that is how you sprint on that game on metaphor with Fantasio, instead of like just like running faster when you press the sprint button. He takes his sword out and he uses it like a surfboard, like a skateboard. So I hope they do that. I hope they put him in the game and he doesn't have a car. He's just like surfing his sword.
That'd be cool. I'd like that. Code Vein 2. Um,
Hopefully this one has more content than the original.
yeah. She says sarcastically.
No. Like, I mean, like, more actual content, because that's the problem with like
Oh yeah, you were talking about padding being the problem.
that's
Like
the
the
problem. That's the
simplistic
problem with the
padding.
first Code Vein. It is a good 15-hour game stretched to like a bad 30-hour game.
Mm.
That's the problem with Code Vein. If the game was like exactly the same, except it was half the length, it will be fine.
Dying Light for people who care about Dying Light.
Yeah, zombies, I
Yacht
guess.
Club's Mina the Hollower,
I really
which
like
is
the way
like
that game looks. It looks like a Game Boy Color
yeah,
game. It looks very cute.
Legend of Zelda the Link's Awakening style, right? If I
Yeah,
remember right, that's the one. Yeah. Um Casino Royale like content in Hitman,
yeah, La Chiffre.
Lego Party, which is just Mario Party but with Lego mini games. And we also had like a Lego puzzle co-op game called Lego Voyagers.
Yeah.
A really shitty looking Nicktoon game that looks like a Flash game.
Do you remember? Like, that game is going to suck, and I can tell you exactly why. That game is being published by Game Meal Entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Game Meal Entertainment, their entire business model is getting IPs and making cheap games to capitalize on that IP. Like, that is the only thing they do. Like, do you remember? Like, I don't even remember if it was last year or like the year before that. But like, in the last couple of years, there was like a really bad Kong game, a really bad King Kong game.
Mm-hmm.
That was them. That's the same people. So that's what. So that game looks cheap and shitty because it is cheap and shitty, and that is intentional. That is their business model explicitly.
There was Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is like neat. That's like another .emu beat 'em up is like they're really good with sprite art. There was the Game of Thrones game.
Which
Forget
is
if there was gameplay.
no, there was
Can't
no
remember.
gameplay, so like that might as well
Yeah,
not
so
exist because they didn't show any
yeah.
actual gameplay. And like,
Yeah.
it's just like so like Like even if you're going to show a cinematic, at least have a cinematic that like is related to like the game. Because it's a strategy game, but the cinematic was just like two dudes fighting, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's also always the worst part again with cinematics too, because like if again, it's obvious like for us, but it's like that if you show that, that's gonna be the inclination to the casual person that that's how the game is going to operate. They're going to think it might be action or something, and
Yeah.
then they're just going to see a strategy game, and then they're going to be like, "What the hell is this?"
See, Kila, the problem with that, just make movies already. The problem with that is that most game directors are not good enough to make movies. That's the
Yeah.
problem with that.
Also, it's just like games are usually just more profitable.
Yeah.
There was I don't even remember Blade and Soul Heroes. Let me Google this.
It's just like a phone spin-off for like an old MMO. Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm gonna cut that. Crystal of Atlan, if I remember, had One Punch Man content. A crossover. Seven Deadly Sins game for
Some reason.
yeah. Hey, this is coming from someone who read the Seven Deadly Sins. So I was like, I don't know. Jurassic World Evolution 3. Yeah.
There was this game where everyone looks very wet. It's called Eel.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. It's good for a horror, but
But I mean, yeah, like we say, like I say it was gross, disgusting. Everyone looked really wet, but like that was the point, so it was good work, I guess.
yeah, Arc Raiders kind of looked like nothing I would play. It just kind of
Yeah, it's
doesn't
just
pull me.
another one. Put it on the pile.
Yeah.
Another live service game. Just put it on the pile.
What was End of Abyss? I can't remember End of Abyss.
End of Abyss. I don't remember that either. End of Abyss. End of Abyss. End of Abyss.
Oh my god! Oh, it was like the one that looked like the one with the yellow jacket girl.
Oh yeah, the one that looked
Right.
like. I don't know. That game is exclusive to the Epic Game Store, so it might as well not exist.
Why did whatever. Why would you in the PC, if you're going in the PC like ecosystem, making your thing client exclusive is like wild.
Yeah.
A Hades like called Blighted.
Yeah, that looked fun.
Another kind of like Hades game, like Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, which kind of looked like parody from the animated, but then when you saw the gameplay, it's like, oh, the characters actually look better. Like you didn't.
Yeah, you should have shown the gameplay.
You should have just
The
shown
gameplay because the gameplay actually looks really good.
Yeah, and the animated made it look like a parody thing that I'd see like.
Yeah, it looks like the
Simpsons
South Park
character
anime
watching
episode.
and commenting on anime. Yeah, like it didn't do itself any favors. You could have saved the budget and then put it then. I can't remember Killer In.
It was like that one that is like Among Us, but like in 3D, and you have to investigate.
Oh my god, yeah, okay. I remember like it was a neat idea, and I was writing it down for like a maybe, and then you told me there was a loot system, and all the interest just left my
Yeah, yeah. It's just like the live service slop ruining an interesting idea because they start explaining the
Yeah.
game. They start explaining the game, and it's like an Among Us type of deal, right? It's like an Among Us type
But
of
it's
deal.
like character
where,
action too, though.
Yeah.
So you can fight back. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like Among Us type of deal where like there are killers and there are guests, and like the killers win if everyone dies, the guests that win if they survive or if they catch the killers. The difference is that there's actually like an investigation system. So like whenever a killer kills someone, they leave clues behind, and you can like gather the clues and like start to like put together the idea of who the killers are. You don't have to just guess or like try to like see movement or something like that. You can actually like investigate who the killer is, which sounds like a very interesting idea. But then they start like showing like, yeah, we have a leveling system and we have a loot system with like color coded rarity, and he's like, please stop. You don't need that.
Yeah.
What, like I feel like that is like we should start like drilling that into like the minds of like game designers, and that is like for like, okay, so like there are conventions, there are ideas, there are like for every single mechanic that you have in your game, have someone on the office whose work is just like, oh, okay, but why? Like you need someone on the office that is just like going on to like everyone whoever has an idea and goes, okay, but why? Like explain to me why.
Are you talking about the idea of the loot system?
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just like some sort of shareholder fuck who was just like, but how's this thing gonna generate us revenue?
Yeah.
And that was mostly it. It's like I feel like in the dev end, they kind of like usually they will know to an extent like
But I think that's a
People
good
will get
idea.
turned off on it. But
That's a
yeah,
good idea
I
to
thought it
have.
was. Well, even the footage itself wasn't too bad. Like it was just like, oh, this is kind of charming. It's an interesting idea, and like actually seeing some of the gameplay is like, yeah, I could see this, but okay, I could see playing this only in the context of I have managed to convince my friends to play it too, and we all have somehow magically aligned our schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
but like it is a shame how many games like that exist. Like good
Mm,
ideas buried under the unfathomable weight of like live service lab.
yeah.
They showed Acts of Blood. That game looks amazing. I'm really excited for
Well,
that
you like
game.
Raid as well.
Yeah,
So like, yeah.
it
I
looks
mean, it
like
looks cool.
Sifu and the Raid combined. Like yeah, like sign me in, sign me
Yeah.
the fuck on. And there is a demo for the game. There is a demo for the
I
game.
actually really dig it too.
There is a demo for the game, so I'm thinking I'm maybe doing a short stream tomorrow to play that demo. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I actually fucking put it on my wish list? Maybe I didn't. Hold on. Act of Blood. No, I didn't. God damn it.
Because that
More to
game
add
looks
to
really
my
cool.
wish list. Felt that boxing was pretty cool. The idea of Punch Out, but just with the puppets.
Yeah, and like
And
you know,
the animation
kudos
looks
to
really
them.
good.
Kudos to them for
Yeah.
making for actually having an idea that makes photorealism worth a damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like for example,
Candy
like
usually hates photorealism, but this time
yeah,
it actually looked really cool.
I think photorealism is like a stupid idea in general.
Yeah.
And I have made it very clear how much I hate Unreal Engine. Uh, so for example, like a couple of days before before like Summer Game Fest, there was like an Unreal conference where they showed like a Witcher 4 tech demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have seen that. They showed like a Witcher 4 tech demo. And everyone was like losing their minds. Everyone was like, yeah, ray tracing at 60 FPS, yo, this is the power of next gen, like whatever. And I mean, like, that just looks like an Unreal Engine game.
I've never actually heard a person
Like I'm
that
like
I know give a shit about ray tracing.
yeah, like that just looks like I'm sorry, but like every single Unreal Engine game looks the same. They all look the same.
In this case, Killer, like they didn't actually make the characters like hot. They're just like all puppets.
Yeah, but
It's
like
a really funny look. It just
yeah, but
looks
like
like
that is
like
the
a
clever
Muppet.
idea. That is the clever idea.
Yeah.
They use the photorealism that Unreal Engine is designed to do to make everything look like they're like actual live action puppets.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is
really
like a
cool.
fantastic idea. Like that is like it looks super charming. Like they got the animation right for like the way they move, the way they like emote. They got it like right. They got it down.
It literally looks like a puppet movie. It looks like some sort of Muppet movie that you would somehow watch.
Yeah, like at some points it looks like it's actually just like recorded footage with like an interface put on top.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But like the good news is that like there are like issues with the image that tell me that it is actually being rendered in real time. Like they didn't lie about that. They didn't lie about that because there are like you can tell like for example like stifling along the edges of like some of like the thin transparencies on the hair that tell me like yeah like this is like the Unreal Engine anti-aliasing and stuff like that. So you can there are like imperfections that tell you that like oh okay so yeah they weren't lying.
Yeah, you can see how the hair clumps together too, just like how it does for those kind of games when they're doing it real time and like yeah, this is being rendered.
But it looked really cool. I really enjoyed the way that game looked.
I thought it, yeah. I was like, I mean, like in the first few seconds, like whatever, this might be like cutscenes, and then you actually see it and like, oh shit, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like something really funny is that like when they show the logos at the end, one of our friends who was watching it with us mentioned that it was like Coffee Stain, right? The developers were like Coffee Stain, which are like the Goat Simulator people.
Yeah.
They also made a game called Satisfactory, which people really like. It's one of those like building a factory kind of games, which is a very clever name, Satisfactory, and you're building a factory that is satisfying. Get it?
True. I'm looking at other stuff too from
yeah, but
this
like,
list.
but like,
I can't remember jack shit for a lot of it.
I went back to look at the trailer for like Felt That Boxing, which is also a pun on the name because they're puppets they made of felt. But like also you feel the punches, right? You get it?
Yeah, exactly.
I went back to check the trailer, and Coffee Stain are not making that game.
They're just publishing it?
Yeah, they're just publishing it. It says Coffee Stain Publishing.
I would imagine it looks kind of like outside of their wheelhouse, like completely. Like
it says Coffee Stain Publishing, and then on the other side of the screen you can see the name of the actual developer, and it's like one of the weirdest names I've ever seen. The
What
name
is
of the name of the developer is, and I'm not making this up, she was a really good horse. Like that. That is the name of the studio. She was a really good
Okay.
horse. And he's like,
All right.
who was a good horse? Why is that relevant? A horse?
Uh, Wuthering Waves content.
Yeah.
Shut up. Dune
Wuthering,
Awakening. Dune
Wuthering,
Awakening looked stiff.
Wuthering Waves is embarrassing. Like, how do you make a game that makes Genshin look like an original idea?
I don't know.
Like, there are so
I'll
many
play
like
Dune
layers of
Awakening.
like ripping off on that game that is like crazy.
Yeah.
But they have a very good
Um,
character. I almost played that game for one character.
Oh.
Fortunately, I was stronger than that. I never actually played the game.
Hey, let's go.
But they have this lady that is like, oh my god.
Self-control. I mean, hey, sometimes the character design does get you.
Look at her.
It's like with Genshin. Like,
Look at her.
I'll observe Yellen from afar, all day, every day. Oh, she's pretty bad. Yeah, she's pretty dope. Yeah.
And she has like a
Yeah, I
demon
see it.
mode. She has like a demon mode where like the shirt like rips off. And she gets more muscular
Ooh.
and it's like, okay.
Ooh,
We're cooking.
Okay, yeah, I respect that.
So she
respect
almost
that.
got me to play the game, but I didn't. I was stronger than that.
We also had Dune Awakening footage, and this went from like the Dune Awakening like original announcement that was just a cinematic. You're like, oh, Dune's getting a game, which is interesting. And then they showed the gameplay, and this is like what? I think it's an MMO.
I think it is an MMO with building.
And with building, and it's just like it looks stiff. Like the gameplay actually looks really stiff somehow, which is weird. And also just like because when you make the Dune universe an MMO, one of the problems is like Dune's a really compelling narrative for like the characters too.
Yeah.
Because the planet itself is kind of like dirt shit desert with sandworms.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if you want to like make money of a fucking like Doom video game, make a visual novel. If you have a good enough story, you like people will buy it because that's where.
I have a friend. She absolutely adores Dune, and she was like disappointed with this. Is like I would have rather just played a narrative focused like campaign.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Like, if you want a cheap game to
Yeah.
make a lot of Dune money, get a good story and make a visual novel. Get some like
You
decent
could do
art.
visual novel, or you could do like because like the sci-fi, like all of the shit in it is interesting enough. Like you could still do something gameplay oriented, but
Yeah,
like this was not it.
yeah.
Another MMO. For some reason, a lot of MMOs. Chrono Odyssey. I can't remember jack shit about Chrono Odyssey.
Me neither.
I guess that says enough.
Yeah.
There was Mafia: The Old Country.
Which I am cautiously optimistic for. I am cautiously optimistic for
Yeah.
because Mafia 3 was a train wreck, but
Yeah.
the Mafia 1, because they did a full remake of Mafia 1, like actually just like a full remake from scratch. You know, like the same story, same characters, like completely different engine, like completely new code, completely new assets, like completely from scratch. And it was actually really good.
You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
My friend, when I talked about it with my friend after the chat, I went, does anyone really play Mafia? Because like I remember Mafia 3, like people telling me it was bad. And then he, like, you know, Dura told me Mafia 3 was bad. You also told me Mafia 1 was pretty good because it got a remake. And then he told me like 2 is actually pretty solid. And then I talked to my friends afterwards. And my friend went, what do you mean here it was bad? You played it. And I was like, I played Mafia 3? No shot I did. And he's like, you played Mafia 3? And then I looked at like my PSN account and that I owned Mafia, and then I played 4 hours, like not 4 hours. I played like the campaign's worth, and then it all flooded back to me like, oh shit, I did play Mafia 3. Like I was just like, I did play Mafia 3.
The problem with that game is like the same. It's kind of the same problem with like, okay, so like first off, when the game came
All
out,
I remember is like your best friend ended up being a piece of shit. That's all I can really remember.
when the game first came out, it was like broken, like completely broken. like from a
It
technical
looked
standpoint.
ugly too. It looked
For,
ugly as sin, and that city wasn't it had nothing going on.
yeah, from a technical standpoint, that game was like a fucking mess. Like the PC version was locked at like 30 FPS, and like the console versions run like shit. And like the map would just like stop having collision, and you would just fall through the map sometimes. And it would crash
Mm.
constantly. Like it was a mess. But like like we have games like Cyberpunk and stuff like that. That like if the game is solid, you can recover from like a technical mess. You
Yeah,
can patch that
yeah.
out. Um, the problem with that game is that like there's actually just like an underlying design issue, and that is like it is the same problem with Code Vein,
Mm-hmm.
and that is that like the writing on Mafia 3 is actually really fucking good. Like the story and the characters, they're really interesting. There's a lot of like really cool stuff being done. I, there's actual politics on the game. Like the writers actually had the balls to like make actual political statements with the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they are like very like there's a lot of stuff that is very like competently handled and stuff like that. So like the writing on Mafia 3 is actually really good. But the problem is that it has like really good writing for a 10-hour linear game. But it is not a 10-hour
Mm.
linear game. It is a 15-hour open world game. You see the problem?
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and that is like I think that is one of the reasons Mafia 2 worked. And that is Mafia 2 technically is an open world, but it is like extremely linear, and it is not that long.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
like
it's
uh
like the memories that came through. I remember like driving through like one of the emptiest cities in my mind.
yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? Nothing's going on here.
Yeah, like Mafia 2 is like the open world is like very small. Like starting from that is like it's like a very
Yeah.
small map. Uh there aren't a lot of activities. Like there's some stuff you can do for like extra cash and stuff like that, but there isn't like a lot of like side quests or like collectibles. And like a lot of the city is blocked at the beginning, and you unlock it like little by little as you progress the story. So like at the end of the day, it is like a very linear, very directed game, and you don't like meander around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the open world ends up acting more like a hub more than anything. Uh, but it works in the case of that game because it has a very solid story, and it spends a lot of time telling that story. So like, it's good that it's linear because it's guiding you along a very interesting path. Um, so I guess we'll see how it goes. Like, another thing I'm excited for when it comes to like Mafia, the new Mafia game, is that it is not Unreal Engine. They have their own engine, and it is really good.
Mm-hmm. I do remember you mentioning that when you saw the footage.
Like
Um.
like the Mafia remake is like really technically impressive. It runs great. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It is so yeah. I mean, it's interesting, and I wish we will see more of that. I wish we could see like more like proprietary engines like being like put to their places.
Valid. I'm gonna just shoot out some of these ones. I think Wildgate was a hero shooter or something.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember it either. There was Last Flag that one of our friends called DEI Team Fortress.
Yeah,
It's like,
that game is the Team Fortress.
it's just like, uh, Candy and I would both be DEIs. We couldn't refute it. Like it's,
Yeah.
we were just sitting there as like, oh, the white man got it this time. Ooh. There was infinitesimals, which is like an interesting concept, but I don't know what it is about that art style in particular. I hate it
What?
because
Which one
like
was that?
that was the one with the ant looking dude with the weird robo spider and
Oh yeah.
yeah. I feel like when you're kind of traversing the idea of like not like super, you know, like the idea of like, oh, here's the world, and this the world looks so much bigger when the main character is small,
Yeah.
right? Like in that sense of scale. But it's just like you could have added more color. This is like a nature oriented game with the contrast of sci-fi. Like
Yeah, the problem is that there's an Unreal Engine game, and every Unreal Engine
yeah,
game is the same.
and also the yeah, and it's just like even the color choices like just it's so bland. It didn't look good.
Yeah.
Mongol Star Dive. I remember you telling me that was a bad live service.
Yeah.
There's Mio, which is a Metroidvania that's kind of cute.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like the
Um,
art style is very, very good.
I
I mean, it looks
the
interesting.
only like comparisons I could give is like if you like Ori, maybe also, and or like any Metroidvania with, well, I mean, to be fair, the backgrounds in that I remembered from Mio were more like picture book esque
Yeah,
or like water brush color. Yeah, it's a really nice thing.
yeah, and it's
Um,
like very like kind of minimalist. Like there isn't like a lot of detail on the backgrounds.
yeah. So like if you like Metroidvanias and you like beautiful background art and stuff like that too, like go for it. There's Out of Words, which was a co-op like stop motion
Yeah,
game.
that is another game that is exclusive to the Epic Game Store, so nobody's going to play it.
Oh, that sucks. To be fair, I we mentioned this. I usually don't care much for stop motion, but I that game's trailer was endearing enough
Yeah,
that I could see it being popular if it wasn't locked for Epic. There was a Fractured Blossoms or Fractured Blooms, that weird horror farming game
yeah,
thing.
it's like a weird like horror farming game with like photorealistic
Yeah.
environments with the character is an anime girl, and it's like, huh?
Yeah, so she'll like garden and then she'll hear schizophrenia voices and then she'll go inside and then like she'll cook and then the actual house will be haunted. And then there was also the fact that it started off with based on a true story. It's like none of that happened unless the end of the story is I took a bunch of mushrooms
Yeah,
and that was it. Um yeah. There was mixtape, and if you're like into hipster shit in the 80s,
yeah.
cool. I don't. I'm not. I'll say that I feel bad for saying
Listen,
it.
listen, listen. Teenagers suck.
Hipster.
Teenagers suck.
Yeah,
I don't want more
yeah.
stories about teenagers.
No, here's the thing. Like teenage formative years, whatever. I can understand that. You can maybe recollect your youth and just like, relive it or like kind of relate. Like hell, so many animes do it, but like when it's hipster teen self-discovery dramatic bullshit, I don't care. I really could not for the
And like,
life of
and
me.
like the thing
I
is like earlier in
I
the
find it
year.
pretentious. I feel so bad for saying it, but there's just something about it that comes off so pretentious. Maybe it's because of all the indie movies that I've
Yeah.
been forced to watch with a friend. But yeah.
And the problem is that earlier in the year, another game with that exact same premise came out. But
Hmm.
the other game has an advantage because it's also a horror game, so it has like a more interesting premise.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting. I don't know. I think that the whole hipster small town teenage self discovery premise is just so out of the indie film genre that came out. It's just so abundant that you have to do something interesting.
yeah. Like I don't know, like that game has a very that he paid a lot for film school kind of vibe.
I feel so mean for us critiquing it like this, but it's like it's one of the least interesting premises to me unless you put a twist to it.
Yeah,
You have
like
to
a
put
horror game.
something, yeah, like you, or even I'll shit on Life is Strange 1, 2, and 3 all day every day for my own reasons, but like Life is Strange 1 actually has a very interesting premise to go
Yeah,
alongside its aesthetics and its choices.
and she's
And
gay.
maybe well, yeah, and she's also wrong because she likes Final Fantasy Spirits Within and says it's a good movie. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you stupid bitch, that bankrupt Square Enix, you take that back. That movie almost killed
is
the company
cursed.
that made you, Max. It took Kingdom Hearts 2 and Final Fantasy 10 to is that why you hate Liz? Who's Liz?
Life is strange. That's the acronym.
Oh, yeah, that's why I hate. That's
Who's
why I hate
this?
Life is Strange. I'm like, who's Liz? Who's this? Yeah, is that why I hate Life is Strange? I hate Life is Strange because Max approves of Final Fantasy Spirits Within, and I'm sitting here. It's like, is this a form of nihilism? You wanted the universe that you live in to end? My my sister across the pantheons. It bankrupted your company. Sora and Tidus had to save it. You know things are bad when those two have to team up. They're idiots. Buffoons, even.
Yeah.
Ugh. Bad taste in my mouth. I also still make fun of Life is Strange 3. I remember Patch getting super defensive because she loves those games, but it's like we were joking in the call about Life is Strange 3 being the fact that the main protagonist's power is being an empath. And I'm like, How do you make a series where the main protagonist in each game entry has significantly lamer powers by comparison?
Yeah.
Because it's like if the three were in a bar, or four, but like if the four were in a bar, it's just be like, yeah, I can manipulate time and rewind it and really change the outcome of life. Is like, oh, I have pretty much like telekinesis and stuff. And the third one's just like, I can really read the room.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
It's like I have anti-autism. That's what she has. She has anti-autism.
I know when the vibe is like sour.
Yeah, she has like yeah that is like anti-autism. That is her power. It's anti-autism.
Stupid. Um,
I can tell where people are mad at me.
what was left? There was and to be fair, like, hey, if you somehow are watching this and you love hipster aesthetic and that kind of vibe, power to you. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could not care less. Splitgate 2, the Splitgate 2 was the one that everyone has clowned on because the guy who came in and said shooters are bad was wearing a hat that said make FPS great again, and then proceeded to show Splitgate 2, which has been shit on
Which is
by
just
a lot
like
of
another
people.
shooter.
Yeah.
It's like my guy.
Yeah. There was no self-awareness in that one.
Maybe
bald.
I mean maybe that guy could have used the power of like reading the fucking room.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we do have to bestow this power a little more.
Maybe he could have used the
And-
power of reading the fucking room, dude.
Could have read the fucking room. Oh my god.
I feel like it doesn't matter what they showed. That guy was so cringe that like he unsolved people
No,
on
he
the
was
game.
he was going to get clowned on no matter what. Here's the thing. I don't have strong opinions because I don't care about FPS that much. But like even I, as a person outside of that realm looking at him, I'm like, you are making yourself an easy meme template for people who are not gonna like you.
Like they're going to make a warjack of you. They're going to like bring out
Yeah.
MS Paint and they're going to make you a warjack, and that is going to be your legacy.
And then the final one, which is my favorite one, because I like RGG games, we actually got Project Century's new name, which is a really cool name.
Yeah, Stranger Than Heaven is a really fucking cool name.
It's really good. The fact that these characters have blue eyes as their indicators, and the heartbreaking thing to look at this character's face and the old character's face finally and see that it's not Yagami, finally putting the final nail in the coffin for any hopes I have for a Judgment 3 is something. So
yeah, it's like because this is a detective game. Like there is like detectiving happening.
well, it's a detective game, and two, the other important thing is the way RGG does it is they make 2 games every 2 years, maybe like a third within the intermittent. That's like smaller scale.
Yeah.
And to be fair, their dev the way they succeed as devs is they aren't afraid to reuse assets. That's just a smart way of doing things.
Yeah.
Like not even just like textures or models, but
The
also
whole fucking
animations. Yeah, like also animations too. Like there are a lot of combat animations that significantly look different solely because they'll speed up some frames and then change camera angles. And it's a smart tactic to do.
Yeah.
So with this one, like since they do this every 2 years, you'll usually expect a what it used to be was new game and a remake. They stopped making remakes as much. So now it was Judgment and then like RPG Yakuza, and then they threw in the Gaiden for like old Yakuza while Judgment was floundering because of the likeness rights for the main character. And now we're all kind of just wondering like, okay, well, is Judgment 3 ever going to happen? And since it's been, I want to say 4 years and there's been no talks, and Stranger Than Heaven looks like it's filling the void, it's like goodbye Yagami, I guess.
Yeah. They should just like kill Yagami off screen and like make a game about Kaito.
I don't want that. Because Yagami is, here's the thing, Kaito plays a little too similarly in some ways to Kiryu. Yagami is just literally my favorite protagonist to play, like his gameplay.
Yeah.
Because Crane style, Snake style, boxing, well, boxing is just kind of remixed Tiger style, but still good. And Tiger style, his moveset, probably my favorite just to play. But like,
I remember I beat the entire of Judgment by just like jumping into walls and like falling on people.
yeah, no, he's just a really fun character in that in that aspect of like his game. But like the problem is we chose like a person who worked for Johnny's, which is an agency that is really
Bad.
archaic, and by the time like the old management left and like the new management has kind of changed the things, I'm sure like either like goodwill with RGG's completely burned out and they're not interested anymore, and now this is kind of filling the void, quote unquote, or like Gaiden was at least.
Yeah.
Um, but like if you kind of made new games with like Kaito, I'd be like, but he kind of just plays a little like Kiryu with some of his styles, and like
I still,
I
I
don't know.
still, I still cannot believe
Yeah.
the fucking Awaterian is going to outlive Kirin.
Oh, she is. She absolutely is. Did you play? Did you play Lost Judgment?
Not yet. I own it, but I haven't played it
Okay.
yet.
Okay. The DLC probably has one of the most refreshing ends to an entire like RGG property because like they break a trope with Kaito, which is really good for
Like,
God's sake.
does he actually have the balls to kill someone?
No, what he does, what happens is he gets
Because
a
the new
love
protagonist
interest,
does.
right? Yeah, but he's not like he's not like Kiryu in them. He's just him. He's like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. Um, in the like Kaito gets a love interest, and when you usually have a love interest in the RGG series, it goes nowhere.
She dies or she goes to
They'll
America.
yeah, pretty much. It's the most annoying, stupid thing ever. But with Kaito's end of his thing, it's yeah, we get together, and all of us who played it went RGG. If you do what you did to Kaoru, where she exits stage left in the next game, I'm going to find Yokoyama, and so help me God. I won't say actionable threats,
The good news is
but
that there is not going to be a
but
new
heat
game.
moves are yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I just give up. Like like there's no Judgment 3. There's no way that can be. So, but Stranger Than Heaven's really cool.
Maybe we'll get Judgment 3 before we get fucking Silksong.
That'd be funny. Also, like you wouldn't even have to kill Yagami off. Just retire him with his love interest and say they moved to America or something and he opened up an agency there. Who cares?
Yeah, and that way, if you get
Likeness
likeness,
rights again.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
just like have a little
set in
scene,
America. Yeah.
where you go to like to his house and he's like, I'm retired, and he's like, but we need you, and he's like, well, I'm fucking retired.
We gotta pull you back in. He's like, oh, this life, I can never leave it.
Just
And
when
that
I
was
thought I
everything.
was out.
They pull me back in. Honey, who's that? It's Kaito. He took a flight here.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like. I guess. That idea floats in my head because I really like Kaito as a character.
I like Kaito as a character too. The thing is, like, I like Kaito, but I like the fact that he's a fun foil for Yagami because I think both kind of.
Oh yeah, those two videos have a great relationship.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
beautiful.
because they work. They work as a dynamic because like Yagami is kind of like the calm, collected, but sometimes a little whimsical character, and Kaido's like the hot-blooded idiot. But they're both like grounded to earth. But then when one of them gets stupid, the other gets stupid accordingly. Like it's a
Yeah,
very fun.
like it's a really
thing.
good it's a really good dynamic because
It's a
because
genuine friendship.
somehow
Yeah,
they make each other smarter and dumber at the same time.
yeah, and
And it's great.
you know what? I will say, like, Yagami has one of my more favorite backstories for a pro tag because Kiryu doesn't get to know his parents, and the way he kind of forgives his dad just outright is a bit interesting as a piece, but like, sure, maybe that's his inspiration. Majima, you never get to hear about his family. Yagami loses his family, and he's old enough to understand. He literally comes back home to his parents just bloodily murdered,
Yeah.
and it messes him up. He was like a delinquent, and then one of the things that makes him really endearing is he's hot-headed, and it took like the power of like 3 father figures. I include the bartender. The bartender, the his yakuza quote unquote dad, and his lawyer quote unquote dad. And it took them.
Remember, we are all for traditional families here. A traditional family is
Yeah.
like a delinquent kid and his 3 dads.
Yeah. So like he works as a bartender because the bartender wants to make sure that he actually has an income because he's on his own now. He has no relatives. So I think he had an aunt and uncle, but it just wouldn't work out. And one of my favorite Timbits for him and Kaito is that since Yagami was a hothead and he would talk shit, is he would challenge Kaito to fights, and Kaito would just beat his ass one-sidedly. Just like absolutely curb stomp him in the alley.
Yeah.
And like Kaito's only a few years older, but it's just like, you know, it's like, oh, this hothead piece of shit. And then Kaito's boss comes in. He pretty much becomes Yagami's second dad. And then Yagami kind of mellows out with Kaito, and they pretty much just become brothers and best friends. It's like a very cute dynamic.
I mean, just
Absolutely.
in general, like again, I haven't played Lost Judgment, but just in general, I think like Judgment, like a really like endearing cast. I really like.
Yeah, they are.
Like very like I even like the whiny little kid at the end. What was his name again?
Kid,
like the assistant.
The one that like the one who manages to nab someone astronomically out of his league.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like even he was like okay at the end. When he was like, yeah,
he's okay.
Yeah,
he does kind of be he is a whiny bitch when he's like going like, Yagami, what are you doing? And you're just like, will you shut up and trust me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he actually pulls it off, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like, and even like, I forgot what was his name.
I'll say Lost Judgment
the,
has
the villain.
Sorry,
what was his name?
Oh, yeah. Do we want to say the spoiler for his name? But yeah, no, the villain.
No, but like I'm not talking about the cop. I'm talking about like
which villain?
The one that was recast when they realized like.
Oh, Hanma. Yeah.
I really
or
like
Hama.
him.
Yeah. No, he's cool. He's cool
like
too.
Him. He's really.
I really like him too. He's really funny, and creepy and weird.
And Higashi is like funny too. He's like a fucking tsundere.
well, it's like your boy band is really fun.
Yeah, and literally a boy band. They are like weirdly hot. He's like
yeah.
You're fucking boy band.
No, they're a boy band. They're a boy band. That's just it. And listen, one of my favorite tropes is just boy band save the earth, baby.
It's like there is this like character who is like messing with you at the beginning of the game, who is like a hacker with an anonymous mask, and then you finally catch up to him, and you take the mask off, and he's like the prettiest man who has ever lived.
Yeah,
like,
and he joins your boy band. He secretly has a history with you, and he joins your boy band.
Yeah.
So I wish we got DLC for like playable Higashi and playable Sugiura.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, here's the thing. Gameplay wise, Lost Judgment is way better.
Yeah.
Story wise, I think Judgment's better.
Yeah. Even like like honestly, like I love like one of the potential girlfriends on Judgment.
Is it the fortune teller?
Yeah. She's so funny.
No, she's the best. She's the best one. She's hands down the best one.
She's so funny. I love the fact that like every now and then she will just write to you telling you like, hey, I saw a vision that a fucking cow is going to fall on top of you, so be careful.
Yeah,
it's like,
okay. A sub story opens up and you're like, oh. I'll say like
it's just great.
They really could have reworked that, because like it's one of those things where it's like, what's the point of it? Because you actually have a love interest in the main campaign, and their chemistry isn't bad at all, but it's just like, I hate the whole like, we need to make our main characters bachelors, to make them the most like relatable, and it's like, no, you don't have to do that. But like, yeah, well, Judgment's a good time.
I do
really
like
solid
that
story.
I do like that part on like like this scene, like genuinely one of the funniest scenes in like any game. That part near the end, where the bad guy is like trying to like charge you, so Kaito just like throws a fucking couch at him.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny how like that resolution to take the big bad comes out. It is like it's like a Three Stooges skit.
He just throws a fucking couch.
It's just so funny. Okay.
But the thing is like it's on character, so it works.
Yeah. Nerding out aside. Now the PlayStation State of Play one.
Yeah. I didn't watch
simple
this
ones,
one. So
yeah, okay. So fast I'll do some fast tracks. Ghost of Yotei, no dates. James Bond game, First Light 007, which is kind of interesting. Doesn't look too bad right now. A James Bond video game in a long while, which is interesting.
I mean like it has a lot of potential. Like a James Bond game made by the Hitman people, like you can see like what the appeal is immediately.
Yeah,
like, that works.
It's a really smart idea.
That works. And if they pull it off, it has the potential to be really good.
Actually, I don't remember. New content for Astrobot. Tides of Tomorrow, which is a multiplayer story campaign thing where in the multiplayer it can affect your campaign. Um, Still kind of like not necessarily interested. It's a very interesting idea. Have to see how it executes. Thief VR Legacy because Thief fans can't take a break. Neo
No,
3.
but that
So
like that is such a
mhm.
fucking like I think this is the first game they have shown for PSVR since it fucking launched.
Mm.
So like they are supporting this thing worse than the fucking beta. I don't know why it's still around.
uh, what else? Gaiden Ragebound more footage. Everybody's golf hotshot golfing game.
That game is also coming out on the Switch for some fucking reason.
Oh, we also got. You know what? No, I'll save this for later. Let me look at Lumens Arise, traditional puzzle game
Luminis,
with PS. Yeah,
Luminis.
Luminous.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're like really funny, like really fun, like chill puzzle games. That might be fun.
Oh, that's cool. There was like an anime pirate game. I don't know which one. I think it might be Swords of the Sea. And there's another pirate game called like Sea Remnants. Don't really have much to say about either of them. We saw MGS Delta 3 footage.
Which I don't care
I,
about because like
I
you know my opinion on remakes. Like if I want to play Metal Gear Solid 4, if I want to play MGS3, I'm just going to play the PS3 version again.
I'm not I'm not opposed to it, but it's just like it's like why 3? I know it's because it's the most popular one and you can get away with it because it's the first chronologically, but it's like you did this years too late. Like she played the Mafia remake, yeah.
Yeah, it was
You
good.
mentioned how much you love it, but it's like because we
Speaking of
okay.
Mafia, there is
Mhm.
like a really funny story. Okay, so like in the
Go.
original in the original Mafia 1, right? The original one,
Yeah.
not the remake. There is a mission where you have to win a race.
Yeah.
And everyone hates that fucking mission because it sucks. It is super hard.
Oh.
It is incredibly difficult. They
Mhm.
like the handling of the car is like super finicky, and the AI is like super good. So it's like a really hard mission. Later it came out that the reason that mission is so hard is because is when they were playtesting that mission, they gave everyone one of those racing wheel controllers,
Mm.
and they never playtested it with like a mouse and keyboard. So the
That's a
difficulty
recipe for success, I'm sure.
so the difficulty of that mission was balanced around like everyone like testing it with a racing wheel. So like they were playing it and it was like, yeah, this works, it's fine. And then they released it and nobody had a racing wheel because they are expensive. And it's like, oh,
God, you shouldn't. If your thing hinges on a peripheral, it's like it's not gonna. No, it's not gonna work.
that's so funny.
Uh, let's see. Digimon Story Time Stranger footage. It's pretty much looks like the exact same engine. Like they didn't even change anything. But hey, it's more time sleuth content, so
And there is a
I'll
hot
take it.
woman.
I mean, there's always hot women in those games. There's Baby Steps, which is a funny dialogue story, which is weird. Like there's a grown man in a onesie who needs to go to the bathroom, and he's kind of a fucking idiot.
I
It's
think that
it's
game
mostly
is
for
like,
like, yeah. Go ahead.
uh,
Dialogue was funny. It was just like,
yeah, I'm
it's
trying to
like I
remember
gotta go
because I
pee.
know that the developers for this were involved in like something else. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I remember them advertising for it, but it's like pretty much the guy's like, I gotta go pee. He's like, well, go ahead then. He's like, oh, I can't go if you're watching me. And then like literally some of the gameplay is him going to an outhouse on the cliff, and then the same guy like shows up at the window of the outhouse. He's like, I see you found the best outhouse in the in the land. He's like, oh yeah, I did. Could you stop watching me? Is I pissed?
It just looks like co-op,
Sure.
like 3D co-op.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
They showed another Bloodstained, which
Well, okay. Before
looks
that,
cool.
there's more footage of that game. Pragmata finally, because like that was
Oh
years
yeah, that game
ago.
exists.
Yeah, it's like everyone was reminded. Yeah, Bloodstain getting a sequel is pretty cool. The fact that they didn't just outright call it 2 is interesting. Miriam is not here. It's completely different cast.
Maybe that is why you
So
didn't call them two, because it's like maybe they want
yeah,
maybe they're going to like be more of a, which is not a terrible idea. I think like if you want
it
if you
wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah.
I think like like generally speaking, if you have enough creativity, it's like a good idea to like set it up so that like, when you're trying to like make a franchise, it's just a good idea to set it up so it's like more of an
Well, you
anthology
could, yeah,
thing.
you could just honestly put her as like a secret boss.
Yeah,
That'd be fine as a connection. But the thing is, unfortunately, as soon as I saw it, it's one of those things where you can tell by the way they do the engine, and it's like the problem with Bloodstain 1 is like they are trying to pop colors and do some shading, but you can obviously tell it's like limited in a lot of ways too, because there are some places where it just like model wise it looks stiff.
yeah.
Um and the assets as well. So like the fact that we finally got to the sequel and the improvements aren't big enough from what I remember. It's a
No, it
bit
does look
odd.
like actually it does look a lot better.
It looks
Like,
a lot better, but it's like I was surprised it wasn't
I think like
well done.
I think you are just making Bloodstained looking better than it does.
No. I'm not saying Bloodstain looked good. I'm just saying like this one also still didn't really cap. Like I still looked at it and I
Why am
was
I
like, yeah,
bleeding?
this still looks kind of.
I mean, they are
I
not a
wouldn't say
huge
not great.
studio. They don't have a lot of
They
money.
aren't. They
So
aren't.
like,
I was.
if,
Yeah,
if it's
true. To
fun,
be fair,
if it's fun, I give it a pass. It's chill.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, they put a lot of budget on those cinematics, and I'm just like sitting there, and I was like, okay, like
Uh,
no. I'm gonna play this because I like Bloodstained, and I like Castlevania. Um, I was just like kind of surprised because I feel like I would have seen this game like 4 years ago, and I wouldn't have bat an eye and just be like, yeah, that's about right. But like at this point in time, I'm like, okay.
yeah.
Um,
It is a bummer
uh,
that like uh Neo 3 is a PlayStation exclusive for now.
I mean, timed. It's timed. It's fine.
Yeah, but like
Here's
it's
the
how
thing.
like that studio always does that. Like Neo 2 was a PlayStation exclusive, Rise of the Ronin was a PlayStation
I
exclusive. It's a bummer.
to be okay, but here's the thing. To make people a little less bummed out about it, Neo is one of those games where they just add a lot of post content even after the fact. So by the time it hits PC, I am genuinely convinced they're still going to add like more DLC and stuff. So you're still going to wait for a bit for the final version that'll be on PC, and then you can play it all at once. So
Yeah.
like it's like yeah, cuz like Neo fans
Hopefully they fix the engine.
they eat well. Neo fans eat well. Like the amount of content they got from Neo 1 alone, like that is
Yeah.
stupid. And so like
Hopefully,
I honestly believe Neo 3 will come to the PC like maybe a year or so after. Then by that point it'll be in the midst of its DLC cycle, and then give it like maybe another year and all the DLC will be out on both platforms, and then you can play.
yeah. Hopefully they fix the engine because Rise of the Ronin was a mess.
I hope that I never have to see purple colored items ever again. I
Oh yeah.
hate its weapon drop system. It's the one big weakness of Neo.
Yeah.
It's just the same weapon but different stats. It's like it's worthless.
Yeah, I never engaged with that. I just learned
Yeah,
to parry.
I hated it. I just hated it. I just hated it as a concept. It's just like way to ruin this for your
Yeah.
audience. There was FF
Again,
Tactics.
we need a guy in the office that is just like going like all the time. Okay, like, but why?
Yeah. FF Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Or...
Yeah, Ivalice.
Yeah.
That's the name of
Yeah.
that world.
Yeah.
Because like most Final Fantasy games are disconnected, but that is the exception, which is very interesting because like the Final Fantasy Tactics games are like all connected, but like they also take place in the same universe as Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, that's wild.
And I think maybe also 11. I think it's I don't remember actually.
But yeah. Also, what else was there? There was Cairn, the survival climbing game. I mean, hey, if you like it, but I'm probably not gonna.
There's been a lot. There's been a weirdly high amount of climbing games recently.
Huh.
I don't know.
People can't fight the urge to climb now. There was Hirogami, which is an action adventure origami game apparently, or paper folding game. I'm looking at it. Hold on, I'm looking at screenshots, and I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
It has an interesting aesthetic. I'll give it that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it will amount to something. We have to give it time.
Silent Hill F, some gameplay.
Yeah, I don't care.
Japanese anxiety of schoolgirl. Here's the thing.
I didn't like the remake. I didn't like the 2 remake, and I'm probably going to like this one.
Well, no, wasn't this the one that was supposed to be like made by the person who wrote Higurashi? Or is there a different one?
Oh yeah, I think it might be this one.
Yeah, which is kind of a bummer because like the imagery in that initial set with the flowers growing out of people and stuff like that. But then when we got to like this footage, it kind of lost. If it is the same game, it I just looked at it initially and I feel like this is Fatal Frame.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Silent Hill. I like Silent Hill. But like the older ones.
I
like after 4? After 4 he broke.
Yeah, no. Because 4 is janky though, but like it's a fun premise. It's a
yeah,
really
and like
premise.
Shattered Memories is an interesting idea, and it's not terrible.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. In terms of like a reimagining, it's a fun concept.
Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't like to remake. I don't trust Konami.
Downpour was bad. There was that time where they did the whole American Studios thing. Downpour was bad.
Oh yeah, there was this shitty like there was this one on the Vita that was like fucking Diablo clone for some reason.
Oh, the
I
trucker
think it was called
one?
Book of Memory.
Yeah, the one where you're a trucker or something.
No, the trucker is Origins.
Oh right, you're right. There was Homecoming.
And that was on the PSP, not the PS Vita.
Right. I got those mixed up. There was Homecoming, where it's like Homecoming loses all of its edge because you're a military guy and you have a knife tech.
Yeah. And there was Downpour where they got Korn to make music for some reason.
Yeah, I mentioned Downpour. It's just like, I mean, okay, here's the thing. The one thing I'll give Downpour is because even the creator of Pyramid Head says he hates Pyramid Head because Pyramid Head should be unique to James Sunderland.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be the whole icon mascot for Silent Hill. The whole point is like he is unique to James because the concept of Pyramid Head is he's a boogeyman in Silent Hill, in which case each person should have their unique boogeyman. So Downpour does give you a unique boogeyman. Does he have an iconic appearance? Not at all, really. He has like a sledgehammer and like a gas mask, and it's overall not as interesting. But I at least respect that because like with Pyramid Head, it's just like, no, he's not this ubiquitous force who's just like always at Silent Hill. It's just like it's because like James went
he
to
is
a museum,
he is literally James sexuality.
Yeah, it's a weird hat. That was part of the imagery, and the fact that he does like phallic penetration of the nurses and stuff is like representative of James's like growing sexual desire as his wife lays sick in bed, and he feels guilty with that, and how he would look at nurses and stuff like that too, and he'd feel guilty about that, and that's just like his repressed sexuality like building up as like his boogeyman.
Yeah.
But yeah. I would be pretty upset if I saw Pyramid Head in Silent Hill F, so I'm glad I didn't see him. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also, to no one's surprise, in the first minute of that trailer, a Suda51 game, Romeo is a dead man. Or Romeo is dead man.
Yeah, you gotta remember that. You gotta remember it's a Suda51 game, so the grammar is bad.
Yeah. Well, also it's just the fact that like, as soon as like, oh, my grandson is dead, let me inject something with you, and it's like he turns into this mech dude with a sword, kinda. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a Suda game, and then it's like, where's his grandpa? He's like, I'm on your jacket. Yeah, this is a Suda game.
Yeah, let's go.
He's like, you did both a killer is dead, and you did a lollipop chainsaw. Instead of your boyfriend's head, your grandpa's on your jacket, and he's always with you.
Which one?
Here's the thing.
Which one was the one where you had a pistol that was your dick?
Shadows of the Damned.
Oh yeah.
I remember I was talking to a friend about this, and she reminded me, is like, it actually looks ugly. I'm like, why do I remember it liking the aesthetic more than I did? The truth was, I looked at shots, and I'm like, oh, it's only like the gun, the main character's design, one background, and a couple of the enemies.
Which one? Shadow of the Damned?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that game is.
Yeah.
Because that game is like them trying to figure out Unreal Engine 3.
I'm gonna say this. Suda 51 games, not that great. Not all of them are great. More like whatever's than me going, yeah. Now that I look back on it, because like Killer 7, great. Lollipop Chainsaw, enjoyable. It's actually good. No More Heroes gets really obnoxious.
Yeah.
Killer is Dead has like the stupidest icky side stuff. It would be cooler if some of the stuff was just removed for its weapon upgrade paths because it just derails the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
guess
I didn't know I didn't know he directed a Fighter Frame game.
Yeah. And Shadow
Actually,
of the
that
Dam
one is
is
my
also
favorite
like
one. Not the Fatal Frame games.
Which one?
The one Suda directed is my favorite Fatal Frame.
Mm.
Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
But yeah, like I hope Romeo is Dead Man is good. I know. You know what the funny thing is?
Yeah.
He's finally working with Swery65 for Hotel Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 116. Suda Swery. And that was the second last game. And now we're going to segue into Candy's topic because she really was interested in this. The announcement for Marvel Talk-On fighting game.
Yeah.
That's
So
a tag fighter, 4v4.
Yeah, they announced this game is
by Arxis.
Yeah, Arxis and World, which are like the Guilty Gear people.
Guilty Gear, Dragon Ball Fighters, Blaze Blue, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Yeah,
they make fighting games. That's their thing. They make fighting games.
Yeah, it's really good. A lot of jokes of Capcom getting the cuck chair.
Yeah,
which is really funny.
So I was thinking about like this because like when we talk about like games and you look at a game and you're like, I'm not going to play this. There's usually a reason, right? There's usually like so for example, we were talking about like like this like mixtape game doesn't look interesting because the whole premise is obnoxious. Mind's Eye doesn't look interesting because it doesn't even look like a real game.
Fair.
It doesn't even look like a real game, and also the director is weird. Splitgate 2, that guy was cringe enough to like completely disinterest everyone in that game. You know, there is
it's wrapped around with that guy. For that guy, it's wrapped around so much to me going like, you're cringe to I feel bad for him because he's never gonna live it down.
Yeah. But like there is no like direct reason like that for like the reason I am not interested in the Marvel game, right? Like visually it looks great, you know, like Arc System Wars has their,
well, Arxis nails it.
Yeah, like, you know, it's Arc System Wars, they have their style, they have their tool sets and they're really good at it.
Iron Man is a Gundam.
So, which is like it's a fantastic idea. And like, you know, like Arc System works, like they like this is what they do, this is their forte, like it's probably going to play good, it's going to like you know, like mechanically it's probably going to be solid. Like
I mean, they've made tag fighters, like Dragon Ball Fighters was a very solid tag fighter.
Yeah. Right, you know, like it looks like there is a reason to be optimistic for this game. You know, there is a reason to be like, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to play it when it comes out. I'm going to enjoy it. Like there is a reason for that. So like, why do I look at this game and I'm immediately like, no, I'm not going to play this. Doesn't look interesting to me. And the reason is that I don't like tag fighter games. I don't like fighting games with a tag mechanic.
I'm of the opposite opinion, but I want to hear what you go with.
Yeah. And I started to think about like, okay, why don't I like tag fighters? Why is this something that doesn't appeal to me? And I kept thinking about it, and I remember an old GDC talk. I don't even remember what it was about, but I remember they were talking about like when it comes to like every game, like every fundamental mechanic, every fundamental like idea you have. If you want to make a good game, you have to have from the beginning an idea of what the core fantasy of the game is, right?
Okay.
Because every game is like to some degree, every game is like it is doing that. It is like fulfilling a fantasy. It is like facilitating something that is impossible or that is not like you are never going to do it for like one reason or another, right? either because it's like physically impossible or because it's not like viable or something like that, or just because
Okay.
like
Yeah.
so like every game has like a core fantasy, and then that fantasy dictates like what kind of stock has to be specifically like designed to work in the confines of that game. Uh, and I remember this was like a big topic of discussion back when the like Batman Arkham games were coming out,
Mm-hmm.
because it became kind of a meme to make fun of reviewers when those games were like coming out. It became kind of a meme to make fun of reviewers for like for like everyone was putting on their review like, oh, this game really makes you feel like Batman. Really makes you
Mm-hmm.
like that became kind of a meme because everyone was saying that. But like the
Mm-hmm.
thing is like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because like it is a very clear example of like what the fantasy of the game is, right? The reason
Okay.
the reason the reviewers were everyone was saying the game really makes you feel like Batman is because it's a Batman game. The fantasy of the game is being Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That is the fundamental fantasy of the game. Uh, and yeah, like every game has like a fantasy that determines like what kind of decisions are made. Even the boring ones, even the games that look like they don't have like a fantasy, uh, they do, because like if you look at like something like you know like the trucking games, like the truck simulator games, uh,
Yeah.
like if you want to drive a truck, why don't you just drive a truck, get a license and like whatever. But like the thing is like, you know, like those games are like uh are contrived in ways like, you know, they truncate space and time, they make day shorter, they make like dealing with stuff like gas and like mechanical breaks like easier, they eliminate a lot of the risks that like are involved in that kind of in that kind of work. So like their fantasy is presenting like the good parts, the appealing parts of working as a trucker, without most of the like really messy annoying part stuff. That is the
Okay.
fantasy, right? Um,
Right.
and that is, and I got thinking about it, and I realized like the reason I don't, and this is a personal thing. This is not like an
Okay.
indictment about like the design merits of like doing stuff that this way. Like it is not a fundamentally bad idea. It's just something like it doesn't work for my brain. Um,
Okay.
and I realized that the reason I don't like tag fighting games is because they contradict what in my head is the fantasy of a fight.
Well, that's because you're a duelist.
Yeah, like in my head,
Yeah. No.
in my
Yeah.
head, in my head, the fantasy of a fight is a dance. It is like kind of a dance, kind of a conversation, and the kind of stuff only happens when like it's one on one.
Mm. I
So
disagree, but I'll let you cook.
so like in my mind that is like, and I think that's also like the reason I tend to prefer like but in like in general in like every game I tend to prefer boss fights that are like against like an equal instead of like a big monster or something like that. I tend to prefer boss fights that are like against like someone who is like on similar grounding than you.
Mm-hmm.
uh I think that might also be why I like parrying so much.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, it's tougher to do a parry with a multi-enemy situation
Yeah.
unless the parry itself is balanced towards it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think like that is the core of the reason I don't like tag
Hmm.
fighters is because they and I think that's also the reason I tend to prefer 3D fighting games like sidesteppers. Is
Hmm.
like because of the like fundamental like way the movement works in those games, they are more dance like. They are more like the dance that I imagine in
Yeah,
my
no,
head.
I get you. I can get you. That's fine. That's an emulation thing. Like you just admitting that that's a personal preference is like fine too.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
I don't know. It was
yeah.
a very interesting like remembering that concept and like starting to like evaluate games the way they are made and the way I enjoy them from like the point of view of like what is the core fantasy. I don't know. I found it very interesting, and that is why I wanted to talk about
I
it.
I think it's for me. It's different because like because by that
I mean,
you like
I know what your ideal woman is. I know like the fantasy of fight includes someone else in your mind.
oh well no not only that it's just like because like in my brain is like but that also contradicts the idea of party RPGs where it's
Yeah,
like you're facing like yeah right because you have the party and quote unquote the whole point is like the stratagems to it for a tag fighter it's the idea of like the customization of because with the fighting game you have you're locked to one move set you can do a lot with it but a tag fighter adds in more customization to an overall game style that your character, like if one initial character is lacking in one way, you can add in a tag or an assist that kind of just complements it on its strengths or like covers its weaknesses, etc.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the RPG thing, but kind of more quote unquote real time. And so that's kind of why I like them. I am a shonen loving battle maniac junkie fool who loves fights. I think like I can agree with Candy. The duel is like always a fun, satisfying one, but the whole like it is an outright brawl and our opponents can switch at any time and just the testing of my grit is a very fun thing for me. I think it's just like the absolute chaos because I also love shit like Anarchy Reigns.
Yeah.
Like granted, now that isn't tag, but it's like your opponent can switch within the like drop of a dime. Um, would this work as a fantasy for being a superhero? Like, not necessarily. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't really see it as much. I guess you could see it like in a Civil War movie or something, but like, yeah. Because, like, again, RPGs, some party brawlers, some beat 'em ups, it's like, by that logic, that they also get that treatment because, like, the confrontations no longer become a one on one dance with it.
Yeah,
But
but
it's like,
I guess like
you can have, like,
in those cases, when
yeah.
in the case of stuff like RPGs, I think it's because
Mm-hmm.
like the core fantasy is different. Like the core, like the fights are like not a part of the core fantasy. Like the core fantasy is more like about the adventure.
Hmm. Well, it depends. Like, some people are really into that gameplay on the stratagem level. Like with tactics games as well, right? So like your XCOM thing too
Yeah, but like again, like the
is
core
like
fantasy is different because like you are actually playing a character in those games. You are playing the commander.
mm,
So like the core fantasy of those
some
games, you're playing the
are
leader
not
of an
all
army.
not all not just XCOM though. Because I just played like Tactical Breach Wizards. You can mention that like each of those characters have independent agency
Yeah, but
for
like
the tactics.
I mean like even if there is not like an explicit like character that is you as the commander, like the core
Mm-hmm.
fantasy of that game is that you are the commander.
Okay.
Like that is the core
I
fantasy of those
still
games.
I still don't necessarily just agree with that on the premise because like again, when if you're into the gameplay aspect of an RPG, you're thinking of you and your squad going gang rules in this bitch. Where Tag Fighter is also that. It's just an all-out chaotic brawl that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
And then the gameplay is like, to be fair, I don't disagree with the fantasy aspect, like completely, like outright. But it's just like there is a level on how that gameplay interacts with the. I suppose it does appeal more to a technical mind because it's
yeah,
just like mostly the idea of the permutations and the fun that you can go into it in building your own team and witnessing what other teams can do. So yeah. I
yeah.
think it's
Like
valid. You don't have to like tag fighters. Like you don't like tag fighters, and I usually don't like sidesteppers. Like it's fair. Fighting
yeah,
games are interesting in this regard. Like we were talking about the whole live service. Like there's usually only room for three, but like fighting games just move beyond that
yeah,
because the tech in each one can be just so different that it's just a fun trip.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't
it
like
doesn't.
I think this is a topic that could be like a whole thing on in itself.
Yeah, but it's like again with the whole three place thing. It's just like even it's like, do you want to go anime fighter? Is like sure you can go like Blaze Blue, Unib, Guilty Gear, not necessarily even in that order, and then there'll probably be like even another niche thing that comes in and people would still love that shit like Melty Blood, and then it's like sidesteppers. You can have like Virtual Fighter like Tekken, um, Soul Cal, right? And then you
Yeah,
could probably get another fourth thing, and it's like fighting games are the weird different. And it's probably just because of the fact that you pay for fighting games versus like live
yeah,
services, which are
yeah.
usually free.
And I think
Yeah.
there's also the fact that like by their very structure, the like viable population is like lower
Yeah. Yeah.
because
It's a
like
very different
for
mindset.
for like a hero shooter to get a match you need at least 10 people.
Yeah.
Or
Like you got your
on a fighting
yeah.
game to get a match you only need another one.
Like yeah, with your like anime fighters, like I said, then you have like your sidesteppers, then you've got like your arcade ones like Street Fighter, King of Fighters, like Garo, etc., or even like Samurai. Um
Yeah,
and then like with bad fighting games, you just play anything from NetherRealm. And yeah.
uh, yeah, like because like that is one thing that because people tend to like think about like the economic aspect of like live services failing. Like, why do they fail?
Hmm.
But like more often than not, is not like the fact that they're not making money, is the fact that there is not a viable population.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
and a viable population is the point on a multiplayer game where any random player at any point can like just hit play and get a match in like a reasonable amount of time, right? That is like a viable. That is like the viable population, and that is
Hmm.
important because the longer you have to wait to get a match, the more likely you are to not try to get another one. Because like
Yeah.
you finish a match, and you go, okay, I want to play again, and you press rematch, and you find another one in like 30 seconds, so you go again immediately. Like that keeps you hooked, right? That keeps you like in the loop. But if you finish a
Yeah.
match, you go, I want to play again, and then you have to wait 5 minutes to get another match. Like in that time, you get bored, and you open something else, and you start watching YouTube
Well,
videos.
it's different. Like it's weird because like the live service industry is expecting every live service player to balance like multiple high end games, right?
Yeah,
Like if you're an MMO and you're trying to cater to MMO players, it's not a fact of oh this player is gonna be able to balance that other MMO. They're pushing something out of rotation. You have to be really confident that you can get into that rotation.
yeah, like that is the thing. If you're making a live service if you're making a live service on a genre that already has like established players, you have to make sure you are good enough to make people drop one of the ones that already exist.
Yeah,
Because you are
people
not
have
going
so many
you
limited.
are not going to like
Yeah,
slot in next to them. You are going to replace. If you succeed, it's because you
people
replaced one.
people have so much. They have such limited time
Yeah,
to what they can like to actually be able to like rotate multiple live services. Now that being said, there is the like off exception. There are the people who are gotcha freaks who have like 6 monitors playing 20 differences of like blue stacks doing their
yeah.
roles. But that's a crazy person. That isn't the norm.
I guess that time thing also benefits like the fighting games.
Also, it's because like gotchas are like automated too, so you're gonna
Uh,
what?
like I think like the time thing also benefits the fighting games because again like by the
Mhm.
very design like this usually like shorter matches.
Or
So so
matches.
so you need
Yeah.
you need less people for the population to be viable, and you need to spend
Yeah.
less time on them to actually enjoy them.
Well, yeah, fighting games have always kind of like like gracefully accepted the fact that the population is going to decrease over the course of the thing because like one, you'll get like the new player, the casual player base that kind of starts getting whomped and then leaves.
Yeah,
Then you get like the people who drop off for whatever reason, and then they're too intimidated to go back because then the remaining player base is just too good and there's a skill discrepancy, etc. And then you have the vets who like stay in like 20 years after the fucking game's killed, like done. So that's just something that accepts it. But like a live service by its intrinsic design needs to concurrently like be near, like be stable.
yeah.
Um.
But like
So
I'm just
yeah.
thinking about the time thing, right? I'm just thinking about the timing. Like, so say I want to play Tekken, right? Every now and then I go like I want
Yeah.
to play Tekken, so I open Tekken and I'm going to like on ranked because I never play ranked because I find that annoying. I find the hyper
Okay.
competitive. I find the hyper competitive environment of ranked annoying, so I always play on ranked.
Okay.
Um, but that's besides the point. I go into unranked. I find the match. I have one within like a minute. I play the match. A fighting game etiquette. You rematch with the same person.
Yeah.
So
Make
like
sure they're sick of it.
I find a match. I go like maybe like 4 or 5 rounds against like one person. Then I find another match, do the same thing, and then I have my feel and I can leave. And that took me 30 minutes. That was 30 minutes
Yeah.
of my time. So I can slot it like any day. I can slot that in because it's 30
Yeah.
minutes. How the fuck do you do that with like
Ma-
something like Genshin or like an MMO?
How the hell do you do that with something like League where a match goes anywhere from 30 to 45?
Yeah, like in the time in the time you finish a league match, you finish like 10, 20 Tekken matches and you are done for the day.
Yeah. Even if you go for the thing where I know a bunch of people who still play League, but they only play like the short mode called ARAM, that's still like a 15-minute per match minimum usually.
Yeah,
Or at least like an average. But it's just like I don't know because like people who actually play classic league mode almost all the time it's like like I when I overhear them it's just a miserable experience because there's so much time in a match and you feel the you feel the loss very heavily when you've invested that much time in a singular match. Whereas, like, yeah, it sucks to lose in a fighting game, but like that's part of the experience. That's the culture is like you're gonna get bodied, but the matches are fast.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I feel like fighting games are also like a great like entry for like people who want to play multiplayer games but don't like people. Because okay, it's only you. You don't have to deal with teammates. Like you don't have voice chat. You never like
yeah, no, absolutely. That's why, like, if there's any kind of game to which I'm semi-competitive in, it's fighting games because I don't like team aspect because like there's too much margin for error on your side. And
yeah
then people will start blaming each other, people will get salty, but where it's a fighting game, it's either I suck, they're good, or both. We're
yeah
losing. So,
yeah. Like if you win is because if you win is because your skill was greater. If you lose is because your skill was lower. Simple as that.
yeah, yeah.
And that also means
There-
it's very simple to like determine like how you are going to improve.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
no.
it's a very simple binary. If you're losing, it means you need to increase your like
It
yourself your
is,
skill on the game.
yeah.
Simple.
It, it's very funny because I think the team thing is the ironic thing that makes them popular because like that sense of security on it not all being on you raises the uncertainty of you thinking that you would like win because you're like, oh, I have a functioning team, but when things start falling apart you feel it worse. Whereas
Yeah,
like, sure, it's scary and anxious to do a one-on-one and then accept the fact that you're lower skill because you lost, but it's like you can still learn accordingly and the matches last like less than a minute. So you don't eventually you're going to grow and learn if you are putting the time in and it's satisfying and losing is just a natural thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that is the reason fighting games in particular are like those are the reasons fighting games in particular are like poised to like be able to like exist being more niche than like other genres. Is that
Yeah, it's true.
you need less time to like actually like play it as a player. The game needs less people to actually like be able to like find you matches. So
Yeah,
like
it's easy to get a 1v1
uh
versus like queuing up 10 people.
and they also like are poised to attract people that might not be able to deal with the social aspects of other kind of multiplayer games.
Yeah.
But see, but like because there is something about like the way a human like you are never going to get any like like an NPC that plays like a human. There is something about like a human like controlling
Oh yeah.
that is different. So like there is definitely like an appeal to the idea of like competing against another human instead of the computer.
Yeah, like for people who get into fighting games, it's not to be mean, but if your thought is I'm good at them and I've only ever fought the AI and won, it's like you're not fighting the best experience. But I cranked the difficulty of the AI to the highest difficulty. Like, it doesn't matter because those AI are just pre-programmed to do certain set patterns too, right? Like they'll
Yeah,
fall back on bad habits. Whereas like humans will invent new tech. It's like labbing is just a thing, and so you'll get to see like characters in their full like in a full spectrum of like amateur players to really good players that would do things that those like that AI just wouldn't think of.
yeah. Like
So
it doesn't matter how hard the difficulty is. They for like as an example, it doesn't matter how hard the difficulty is. The AI on melee is never going to like that slight thing people do
mm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it
So
doesn't know how to and it cannot learn.
and to be fair, like for people who would go like, but those amiibo AI that you do that is like, yeah, but that's because they're inputting like player data.
Yeah,
And even then, like if you set up in like an amiibo versus a pro, like I still would be very surprised that the pro got bodied. So like yeah.
yeah. No, but yeah, like
Okay.
I did think that this topic was like very the idea of
It
and like
was a
here
very interesting poll.
it starts to
I
explain some
wasn't expecting
stuff.
you to do that.
It starts to
Yeah.
explain some stuff. Like for example, like why do people get so pissy about the web slinging whenever a new Spider-Man game comes out? Well, it's because that's the fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to get
Yeah,
it
no,
right.
no. Yeah, no, I get you. It was not the poll I thought you were going to say. Like usually with tag fighters, most people get overwhelmed by the variety, like the choice and
Yeah,
the amount of factors to go in. This was an interesting discussion.
yeah.
Um, all right, so that was our comments on Summer Game Fest. Next week we'll probably talk about the Xbox one.
I hope they show
Candy,
Ninja Gaiden.
yeah, Candy, me, and three other friends are going to be in call, and we're going to watch it together. So that'll be interesting.
What time is it?
I think it's like 2 p.m. EST or
Oh,
1 p.m.
okay.
EST. Yeah. What was I thinking? All right, our weeks, because we wanted to get the games fest done first, so we can go on our weeks. I guess you first,
Yeah.
ladies first.
Uh,
Ugh, my nose.
well, it was like
Jesus.
a very busy week. For me,
Oh, okay, let's go.
I've been like but like not in an interesting way. It's just been like a lot of adulting, dealing
Mm.
with like like stuff like in the because I'm still like yeah, I did start the YouTube live stream this time. I did start it this time. It's so
It's so
stupid.
funny. Last week, the week before, she literally went, I ended the YouTube stream. Are you proud of me? And I'm like, I'm always proud of you, babe. And then this week, like the last week, it's just like I checked the YouTube to
And they
see
didn't
like
fucking
any.
start.
Yeah, I saw like I on a whim I went to the YouTube one and I wanted to check if the quality was good or anything like that because I didn't open the tab at the start and it was like, oh, she announced it. It's just never it's just never streaming it. So yeah.
Yeah, I do keep the votes though. Like I do keep the votes locally, so like I can just like upload it
Yeah,
later. It's
yeah,
fine.
she'll just upload it after.
Uh,
It's still funny.
yeah. uh, yeah, it's like 1 week. I forget to like finish end it on time because you have to like close YouTube streams. Even if you stop streaming in OBS, you have to like manually close them on YouTube too.
Yeah.
For some fucking reason, it's very annoying. Uh, so like I keep forgetting to do that. So like the week before last week, I remember to do it, and I write to Nick, "Hey, I actually remember to do that. Are you proud of me?" And
Yeah,
then
and I
last
said,
week,
yeah,
I didn't even fucking start it.
yeah. So funny. As soon as that stream ended, I just checked it and then I typed it in chat and I was like, oh my god.
Professional streamer.
What else? What else did you do for your week?
I mean, like again, like it's just been like a lot of like um
Okay.
of like adulting. Like I'm looking at like setting some stuff
Mhm.
to like help cover some bills and stuff like that because I still don't
That's
have I
good.
still haven't like it's so fucking annoying. You send I think like just in the past like 3 months I have sent I have rewritten and sent my curriculum like at least 1,000 times and I still haven't found anything. I still
No,
only get like a call back every couple of weeks and stuff like that. So like I'm
tough
still
out
like
here.
dealing with that, and it's been like incredibly fucking stressful because I'm very tight on the money. Uh,
Yeah, me too. I'm on part-time work right now, and that'll probably end by the end of summer, so I have to go job hunting this entire time.
so it's been very fucking stressful. Like I basically have nothing right now. And like yeah, I keep like all over the place. I keep sending stuff, and nothing comes up. And I've been dealing with that, and it's been very fucking stressful. Um,
I feel bad to say it, but like it's true. Nepotism just helps.
yeah,
Like if you have a connection, like your chances of like getting a job just go astronomical. Sounds obvious, but like it's a connection that might not even matter. Like bro could be like I don't know the cleaner in the office, and you'd probably have an in. So like yeah.
I'm thinking like I may be able to like set up a little thing. Like speaking of nepotism, because
Mm-hmm.
I have an aunt that works on like a
Mm-hmm.
company that like makes a lot of like inventory management for like other companies, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Use your connections.
and I'm thinking like, and something she was talking about like the other day is that like a lot of times they just get to a room of like old computers that are like just like there to like throw away.
Yeah.
So like so I'm looking for it, and the thing is like, in order to get rid of computers, you need to like get an accredited like someone with like a certification that they are able to like dispose of electronic components. So I'm looking into like the possibility of like, okay, how expensive and how long is getting this certification? Because if I get this certification, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I can maybe I can like talk with my aunt and like get something going where I can like when she can like help me out with like some of those companies and I can come in and I can take the computers away and I can just like flip them, right?
Yeah, fair.
Like that is something you can do. Like you can like you can take you can take like corporate PCs, you can clean them up, make sure they work, get the ones that work, and like flip them on Facebook Marketplace as like family computers for browsing the
Yeah.
web and stuff like that. So maybe I don't know. Like it depends on how much how much time and money you need to get the certification. But like I don't know. I'm looking into that. Maybe it will work. Hopefully it will work.
Here's open. I hope it works for you.
So yeah, that was my week.
Um.
It was like really
Oh.
busy. I didn't even stream this week.
Oh, snap! Really?
Yeah, because I've just been like super busy.
Fair. Plus the construction.
Yeah.
Yeah. My week. So I managed to cross things off the backlog. Um. So the day after the podcast, I finished Ace Attorney 5, and man, that game gets less cool the more you think about it. Like as time passes, you're just like, oh, there's a lot of stuff they could have executed that was like could have been better. So they have a final antagonist that's interesting, but they don't set him up early. And I suppose there's a reason why when you set up a mystery villain at the start, everyone's brains will go like, who is it? And they'll kind of cynically go like, oh, it's this guy, or they'll over hypothesize. The problem with this is the main antagonist is only mentioned as a key thing for Blackwill's story at the second last case. And then he becomes like an antagonist in the final case. How much do you care about spoilers in this?
Not terribly.
Okay. All right, for people here, I'm going to spoil some stuff about Ace Attorney 5. Feel free to mute it, and then I'll just type I'm done with spoilers, and then you can unmute if you really are interested in doing Ace Attorney 5. So, there's a lot of pretext. So in Ace Attorney 5, Athena's whole thing is I've mentioned she's like a kind of like empath with like an AI that tells you the emotions of the person that you're cross-examining, right?
And she's very yellow.
So she's very yellow. They literally call her Banana Girl, and she is not happy about it.
Stop wearing yellow then.
Stop wearing yellow, you Banana Girl. So Blackwell is, since he's the prosecutor who is imprisoned and it's a Phoenix Wright game and you like him, obviously he was framed for the crime, but he's taking it willingly. And there's just so much going on here. So like this game it's clear that they were trying to fit too many story arcs into one, and it kind of like gets too messy on the different points of focus all merging to this one antagonist who is only mentioned like in the last act.
Yeah.
And for you to kind of blame things on, and because of that, it just doesn't feel as impactful. Very interesting concept on paper, I'll say. To elaborate though. So the game goes, Athena's backstory is her mom was killed. Black Quill is the prosecutor that is accused of killing her and then went to jail. And he confessed that he did it. But of course, since he's a noble character, he was doing it for protecting someone else. Because of this, his older sister, remember the one in the lab coat?
Yeah, the one that's hot.
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna like this part.
I mean, it's a Capcom game, everyone is hot.
Yeah, no, but you're gonna like this more. She clearly was a lesbian who was in love with Athena's mom. And she's a bitter lesbian now because not only did she lose the love of her life, she is 100% certain that her brother took the fall and that the justice system failed her. She also technically has a past with Apollo because Apollo used to visit the space station. Oh, whatever. And then Phoenix is technically kind of tangentially related because him accidentally using false evidence along with Blackwell's arrests created the Dark Age of Law. If you want to know a sentence that gets really tiring in this game, it's the Dark Age of Law. The amount of times you hear it is so nothing. Like it just makes you go like whatever.
The Dark Ages.
The Dark Age of Law. We're finally ending the Dark Age of Law. So, so like, you know, how it goes is, what's your fucking name again? Aura, Blackwell's older sister, goes, I am holding a bunch of people hostage. You are going to redo the trial in which my brother was given a guilty verdict, and I want Athena to be the defendant because I truly believe she's the one who killed her own mom. So you defend Athena, and Blackwell is trying to take the rap so he can protect Athena because Athena was his mentor because he killed her mom, but her mom was like his mentor figure. So he felt indebted to protect her daughter from from getting arrested. Even though she didn't. No, she didn't kill her mom. She did something really stupid though after her mom died.
It
because her
would be
mom
better
was a
if you actually
robotics
killed her
engineer.
mom.
Yeah,
Like by
so her mom's
accident
a
or
robotics
something.
engineer. Her mom's a robotics engineer, so she's witnessed her mom put like her robots on a table that assembles and disassembles them. So she thought as a kid it would repair anything. So after she finds her mom's corpse, she orders a robot to put it on the table, and then the machine stabs her mom further, and she's just looking. He's like, "It'll repair mom." He's like, "What the fuck?"
That is horrifyingly morbid for an
It
Ace
is
Attorney
horrible.
game.
Yeah, no. Black Quill walks in on that, and he's horrified. So yeah.
have you ever seen that scene from Quake 4 where you get turned into a robot in first person? I'm just imagining that.
No, that'd be terrifying. So, of course, Athena didn't do it. But the key figure, the mysterious antagonist that was mentioned in passing in case 4 was actually the real culprit all along. Candy.
Crazy.
Now, here's the thing that's interesting. This character has a lot on concept that's pretty fun for the new gameplay mechanic, which is detecting people's emotions. Because Athena's mom was not only a robotics engineer.
Wait, so you're telling me that her superpower is that she's an empath and she can read the room?
She can really read them. No, you see, she uses ChatGPT to read the room. She's like a different autistic. She's just got a hack button. Don't give her the power.
I think that is the saddest
Oh
thing.
no, she.
I think
No, she. Yeah.
using ChatGPT to read the room is the saddest thing I have ever heard.
Actually, no, she does have a superpower. She can actually like hear people's like tones in their voices to determine what their emotional state is. Like she's very good at picking that up, apparently. And her powers were stronger as a kid. Okay. So for context, Black Quill has a detective called Fulbright, and Fulbright is an over-emotional guy who's very happy, chipper, all about justice, and he's a fun like contrast to Black Quill, who is grumpy, whereas he is kind of
Are
like
you
happy.
kidding me? Black Quill and Fulbright?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, come on, it's Ace Attorney names. And his whole thing is he genuinely thinks he can rehabilitate Black Quill, etc., etc. He's very much like justice prevails. We'll do that, and he's actually very kind to the players, where he will actually help them on the case, because he doesn't want to contrast what he thinks justice should be, and is like the fair and equal pursuit of truth and stuff like that.
Yes.
When Athena's mom, who is a robotics engineer she's like a therapist, but I think she also dabbles in robotics engineering, because this is anime where if you don't have 5 jobs, you're a loser. Yeah. So she finds that villain we talked about in 4, and what separates him is the fact that he's a spy, and he's a spy because he has the inability to truly express emotions, so he's always at a neutral state that just doesn't feel, right?
No.
Yeah,
So he's on antidepressants.
Kind of. He's just emotionally stunted to the extreme. He doesn't actually, his heart and his like heartbeat, his every behavioral thing does not put him in stress. He doesn't feel happiness. He doesn't feel sadness. He just doesn't feel. But he does have self-preservation instincts. Like he does understand. So he's espionage spy, right? So if his identity came out, he would fear death, right? Because there would be there would be like people who are trying to kill him, right? Because he's probably destroyed companies and stuff.
I mean, maybe not fear, but like he will understand, like, yeah, that's bad. I should avoid that.
Well, yeah, So here's the twist. If you haven't muted, I'm giving you a chance to mute. Okay. Fulbright, the most expressive emotional character, turns out to be the spy known as the Phantom, who is emotionally stunted. When you use ChatGPT to read his emotions, he will act happy, but the readings show no emotions expressed. Yeah. He'll act sad, no emotions expressed, etc. So you have to find contradictions. You have to see. Then, when you call him out on the fact that he isn't feeling anything, he forces emotions, but they aren't aligning. So he'll say a happy statement, and then the emotional pickup will pick up like him being sad. But then, if you call him out on that, he'll force all the emotions to go out at once, masking it. Very interesting on a gameplay boss idea. Kind of wish it was still established earlier. And it does make the boss a little terrifying, because it makes him alien to the idea of emotions. He's an actor. He's 1000% an actor. He doesn't see emotions like humans see emotions. And he's he's like looking at a crude caricature, and he's like an alien trying to like portray us, right? That kind of
Yeah.
makes him a horrifying like villain. That does kind of make him feel like an alien creature to you, and a little scary. Really wish this was built upon earlier. And the fact that he chose the most expressive character is obviously like it seems like obvious as a twist, but it's a very good one that actually works because you genuinely don't mind Fulbright, especially with his contrast with Blackwell. Um, you find out further that the real Fulbright is dead, and the Fulbright that you've been talking to the entire game has been the spy since case one, which is also a kind of interesting idea. But like still there's nothing really build off of that. Um and so you find out he's wearing a mask of Fulbright, right?
Like a fucking Mission Impossible mask.
Yeah, like it's yeah, it's really stupid. So when you finally start breaking him down, he removes the Fulbright mask and he shows another NPC's mask. And then he pulls that off and he shows another NPC's mask. That's not the implication that he's been all these characters. He just keeps on pulling off these masks. And then the final one, he's like right before you kind of completely screw him over, he's wearing Phoenix's face, which is pretty funny as a gimmick because he'll parrot Phoenix's objection to counter your objection, and the judge will get confused. Um, and then when you finally break him down, he finally starts feeling fear because he knows there will be a sniper that will kill him in this courtroom. By the way, Candy, remember how I said there was a bombed courtroom?
Yeah.
They take they do the trial in the bomb courtroom with the open roof because all the other courtrooms were booked. Just stupid. It's stupid. So he has a very interesting breakdown animation where when you finally put the nail in the coffin, he has, since he's an emotionless quote unquote character and he's forced to deal with emotions, and now knowing that he will die, he finally feels fear, but he also feels existential dread because he's been a spy so long he doesn't know his true identity. So he keeps on ripping mask after mask, going like, "Who am I? What's my real face?" And he starts panicking more. And then it goes to a back shot of like him and you hear a gunshot noise because the sniper's there, and he falls. And then you see a shadow cast over his face of like a pillar, and him holding the mask of Fulbright, the person you knew him as all along. And it's a very cool image. But the more you look at this, you go like, this villain was only established in the first two cases. The narrative is trying to be cohesive and in a straight line, but like it doesn't build into these things like naturally and well. And so it's just a bummer because he's like supposed to be this big bad, but it's like not really. So I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's a cool reveal in some ways, and then I kind of wish like Dual Destinies was just a bit more cohesive and we didn't have to wrap everything to one guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say Athena's proven innocent because of course Banana Girl would never kill. Blackwell is released from the shackles. Oh, Edgeworth also showed up briefly.
I mean, he has to show up. He has to pick up his husband from work.
Has he been in every single fucking game? He wasn't in Apollo Justice, but yeah.
My headcanon is that now is that like I'm just inventing this right now. Is that Phoenix cannot drive, so like Edgeworth has to come pick him up.
That's pretty funny. No, you know what? It's actually cute. So you face off Edgeworth in court for the first half, and then you go back to Blackwell.
Yeah.
When you throw out an objection, there's a point where Edgeworth goes like, "Yeah, like that time we went to your daughter's like magic recital," and then the judge goes like, "Why didn't you invite me?" And then Phoenix was like, "I'm sorry, you can come to the next one." Like it is literally a family courthouse.
Yeah.
Like it's just so cute. Yeah, you win, and then there's some cool stuff that kind of goes. Here's the thing.
It's really interesting to me. It's really interesting to me that like after the time skips and all that stuff, like Phoenix is actually just like straight up a dad.
Yeah,
I feel not a lot of games do that. Like a character shows up again and they're just like, yeah, I actually just have a daughter now. Like I'm just straight up a dad.
Yeah,
now.
she's like like Japanese media, especially like, here's an adopted daughter. It's like, why will you refuse to let me like have proof that I had a woman at one point in my life. Why this? Well, like
I can have the fuck, you
Trucy's,
know, every now and then.
yeah, yeah, like
Like Virgil,
Trucy,
like Virgil has the fuck.
or it's not even out of the realm of possibility. In Trials and Tribulations, he had a girlfriend and he still loves her, and they go nowhere with it. So annoying. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, by the end of it. Oh, by the way, that same daughter taken hostage by Aura Blackwell, and Aura literally threatens to kill your daughter. So I'm not totally happy with Aura Blackwell. She also doesn't
She's hot
apologize
though.
for doing it. I don't give a fuck.
I do.
No. Um, Bad. I spray you with water. She literally comes to you and goes like, "I don't regret what I did, and I'm not going to apologize. In fact, I kind of saved the day because I did this hostage situation, which made you guys do it." It's like, you're kind of right, but like, no, you still threatened innocent civilians. So no. And then she's completely accepting of her
Listen,
arrest.
listen. A girl can have a little terrorism as a treat.
I'm not. No. um, but the funny thing is,
Okay, I'll
you
cancel my
get to
plans.
see her. You get to see her talk to Simon, and they do have a pretty funny rapport where she goes like, "Yep, I'm probably gonna go get like arrested and then have to face trial." And then she looks at Simon like Blackwell and he's like, "What do you say, Simon? Are you gonna prosecute your older sister?" And then Simon goes like, no." She goes like, "Are you gonna prosecute your older sister? Are you gonna give me the death penalty?" And Simon just smiles and he's like, "You bet your life on it." And Phoenix is just sitting there, just going like, "Is this a healthy family dynamic? I can't tell." And
If Roll is eating, they're thinking, "Thank God I only have one."
yeah, thank God I only have one. And it ended. This is a messy game. It's still like fun while you play it, but like the more you take time away from it and process like the events, it's like there's too much stuff going on, and not enough of it was like cohesive enough to kind of like work as an overarching thing. Um, it doesn't mean that every case has to be related, like with how Apollo Justice does it and Greatest Attorney. To be fair, Ace Attorney 1, like the cases aren't necessarily all intertwined, but they have overarching narrative points, right? Like the first is establishing Phoenix as a lawyer. The second is the passing of the torch from his mentor to him, and then
Yeah.
as well as like indoctrinating like his sidekick. And then the third one is kind of like, well, and also like establishing his rival. The third is like the characterizations. It's kind of, you could say the third one's a little bit of a filler episode, but it's just like more characterization on both half. And then fourth is like, oh, here's what changed my rival character, like this evil character. And then fifth is like a bonus DLC episode, but Gant usually steals the show, and it does build up on Edgeworth a bit, but like whether it's positive or not is dependent on the person. I don't like some of the things they did, but yeah. Um yeah, Dual Destinies is fine. I'm gonna play Verse Layton after I finish my next backlog game. Uh and then I'll end off with Spirit of Justice, which will make me all caught up to Ace Attorney again. After that, I played Tactical Breach Wizards, which
Spirit
is
of
actually a really
Justice.
Spirit of Justice. Um, I played Tactical Breach Wizards, which is a tactics game that has
That's
some
a
fun
really good
gimmicks of
name.
of urban fantasy. So your characters are like a marine seer, like he's an oracle kind of, like he can see into the future, and he can um his powers are a bit contrast. Then you have a storm witch detective like PI. You
Yeah.
have a necromantic. Oh my god, the necromantic Candy. The necromantic makes me feel things. Like these aren't even like detailed character models. They're just poly.
Yeah, like low
But
poly. I
like
think I think I have seen like a couple of screenshots of the game around.
Candy, she's kind of bad though. she's like she's kind of like unironically really bad.
Well, let me see.
Like, hold on. Yeah. I'm scrolling up, woman. So she's a necromantic. She's a necromancer medic. So the thing is, like, in order to revive, she has to you have to be unconscious, or like,
That's so funny though. The idea of
yeah,
like, yeah, you just let them go on and bring them back. It's fine. They'll be fine.
yeah. And then she'll reverse your death by like an hour. So she has to kill you. She has to put a bullet in your head. So this is her default look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is one of her skins.
Oh, I see the vision. Oh, I see the vision.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. um,
Ironically, she doesn't see the
she's
vision because she doesn't have any fucking eyes. Oh, wait, no, actually, eyes are the
she
only thing she has.
she has this really cool ability
There
called
she is.
Death's Door, where you place a death door onto a wall, and then if you push any enemy in front of that tile, they disappear for the rest of the match. So um, she can be a goaded choice.
Get disappeared, idiot.
Um, your main antagonist is your ex boss from the Marines, who's a chronomancer. She moves super fast, and she has like that. It's based off of time and kind of like teleportation. She's super cocky and a bitch, and you gather more people. So you get your Navy Seer, your Storm Witch, PI. You get your Necromedic. Then you get like a Stalwart. She's like this tank. She's a big woman. Um, she has a giant shield. She has like a hammer. She can hit really hard. She's the one with Boogie Woogie. Like she can swap with any character on the field for repositioning. She can also throw in portable cover that you can get
Mm-hmm.
behind. Um, and then the fourth one is a Druid Hitman. Um, and each of these characters are really fun. Not only in their dialogue. Originally, when that game was pitched in its trailer, we all thought it might have been like campy and a little too self-referential on the absurdity of things, but it's not. It's played relatively straight, but they're all quippy in a coping way, because humor is how we cope for a lot of humans, right?
Yeah.
And it's still charming. Um, like the characters will just they'll have pretty fun conversations and stuff, and twists and interesting things where since the seer is on their team, his powers will affect others around him, and if they're sleeping, sometimes they get an anxiety dream where they're forced to deal with their inner demons, right? Their insecurities or stuff like that. And this is kind of one of those things where one of the annoying things in fiction is where you have the battle with your inner trauma and or like your insecurities, and you have like one conversation and it's like, I'm magically cured. This does not do that. It's like, I see the flaw in me. It's going to be hard to change, but I'll make some incremental progress. And that's
Yeah.
more real, right?
Yeah.
Which is really good. Um I'm trying to think of an example, but one is the biggest spoiler, but like there are different things. Like for instance, the stalwart, she's a rebel fighter. She's been so used to it, she lost her husband, and part of it is just like you're always like her subconscious is going like you're always fighting these battles. You talk about how you want to honor your husband, but you do know that he would have wanted you to actually like live for once, right?
Yeah.
And she has to come to terms with that. He's like, I'm not going to stop being a fighter, but I am going to try taking care of myself more because you are right, which is good, right? It's the acceptance of who she is, and she can't completely like change it, but there is a thing where it's like, no, you're right, so I have to work accordingly.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, to be honest, I
the
wasn't expecting this game to have like a plot.
oh, it's a really good plot. It's really good. The seer. Okay, where do I go from this? The Storm Witch is relatively insecure about stability in her life, but she realizes that she can still move forward. The Necromedic, I think she kind of has the least interesting one. By the way, the Necromedic is either bi or lesbian. I'm not entirely sure because I think she has a crush on the Storm Witch. Um,
I mean, she looked gay. She looked gay.
if she looks, yeah, but here's the, you know how you'll look at a straight woman and you'll have hope. This is the one time where it's the inverse for me. I'll be like, just give me, just, you don't need to, you don't need to be entirely on my team. Just be 50-50. I can deal with 50-50. Um, so, um, the anxiety dream for the Hitman is really fun. So the Druid Hitman used to be on the antagonist faction with your ex-Marine leader, right?
Yeah.
Who is just a war criminal now. And then he gets betrayed, and then you revive him, and he joins your team. And his Druid thing is he has a dog form, right? And then he can use like plant-based powers, etc. His anxiety dream is he's doing breach missions inside of his head, and his companion, usually your companions are a dream version of you, so you're operating two of the same character. But in his dream, The opposite character is just his dog form, right? And so he's talking to his dog form, and then he's talking back and forth, and he's going, since he's always been a hitman, he's so used to being isolated, and it go like his dog form is the insecurity of wanting to actually trust people again.
Dang,
Right?
he got that dog in him, and the dog is depressed.
He got that dog in him. Well, we're gonna keep going because it's like, so his dog form pretty much goes like, but I want to trust people again. I want to have friends for once. And then he's getting tired of it. He's like, I'm doing this to protect you. And the dog goes like, yeah, how many? You'd say that for everyone we meet. We're not allowed to trust anyone. And then he literally, like, this calm character is getting more angry. He's like, how many times do you need to be kicked in the ribs before you bare your fangs? And then the dog goes like, how many times did it take for you to be too broken to even try? And he's just like, you're out of line. And they start doing the missions. It's like it hits really hard. The thing about this universe is people awaken their powers when they go through a great crisis, right? You can try artificially doing it, but it'll fuck up your body and you'll probably lose the powers, right? So for some of them, it was like for the seer who had like time abilities and he wanted to foresee the future, he was doing bomb defusal once and he was just so panicked. He's like, I need to make the right decision. So then his foresight actually kicked in and it showed him like the future in which he cut like the red wire and then he'd die. So he cut the other one, right?
Yeah.
The necromantic
Wouldn't it be
was like
funny if it was a
was
little trolling and it was actually the other wire?
the necromantic had a situation where she couldn't save a patient and then her powers like kicked in. So forth and so on. Like the white
like that is so funny. The idea of a necromancer surgeon. He's like, relax,
Yeah.
we get to try.
Yeah. And the stalwart is witnessing her husband die and then going like, I didn't want his killer to feel safe. I wanted him to understand what it felt like to be powerless. So the interesting thing for the hitman is he is born in the slums. So he's the last one added. So you're always worried that the last character added is going to have the weakest story, right?
Yeah.
As the game progresses. So after his anxiety dream, he talks to the necromantic. And the necromantic goes, you have this weird accent. Were you born in the slums of this country? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I was born. Didn't even know my parents. I was left on the shores. And I was picked up by an old man who pretty much became a father to me. And I really looked up to him, even during the times he hit me. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I wasn't fishing. Anyways, I would do anything I could to try making him like me. And it just wouldn't work out. And yeah, no, he would just beat me. And at some point, I awoke. I awoke my powers. And your awakening usually is relevant to the emergency you have on hand, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes like, I awoke because I needed him to understand the cruelty he was dealing to me. And I needed to protect myself. So I needed to awake powers that would allow me to be cruel so he could feel the pain that I felt. And she's like, but you're a druid. How would changing into a dog like turn you cruel? Dogs are loving. And he's like, you've got it in reverse. And she's like, oh my God. Yep. I'm a dog that was abused and I awoke and I turned human. It's like, you turned human to be cruel? What better form? And it's like, shit.
Oh. Yeah, that's it.
It's
Oh.
like,
Okay.
it's a really
They're
cool
cooking.
twist for that. Yeah, really cool twist for a character. And then she goes like, but why are you always in your human form? He's like, bitch, I aged like 7 times in my dog form. I want to have like a long life.
Oh wait,
And
so
it's
you
a
actually
real,
so he ages like depending on oh, that's
yeah. And it's a
he should become a jellyfish then.
yeah, yeah. But it was a really cool twist for that character. And I think it's like really great. I think, I know I spoiled that, I guess, but like still Technical Breach Wizards on a gameplay level is really fun. I'm not even scratching the surface of like the dialogue and the writing. But yeah, it's these characters are really compelling. They're kind of stereotypical in like the mission heist situation, but they're fun. They're still fun and they're grounded in this way. Because like other than that hitman is like kind of a stoic. So you were worried he would be the most boring. But no, he's actually really fun.
So he doesn't have that dog in him. He has that person in him.
Yeah, it was such a cool reveal. I thought that was such a nice way.
He doesn't have the dog in him. He is the dog in him.
Yeah, it was such a good fucking twist. I was like, holy shit. And then the Seer's anxiety dream, even though he's your first character, his last anxiety dream is him dealing with his abusive father's ideas of toxic masculinity and stuff like that. But since he's such a what's the word? Indecisive person, he finds that because he can see the future, right? And that's why his powers procced, because he's indecisive. He does regret that he can't be like more reckless and willing to do like take action and do that. And out of all the anxiety dreams, his anxiety dream is the only one where he's like, no, don't listen to your anxiety self, because he's wrong. He's like telling you to be reckless and not think before you act, like leap before you look. So what happens is the Storm Witch, which is his best friend, like jumps in at the final part, and she's like, don't listen to him. You're perfectly fine as you are. And he's just like, he's like, I don't know though. Like, maybe my anxiety dream version is actually onto something. Maybe I'm just always hesitant. And then his anxiety dream version, which is based off of his abusive, horrible father, is like, you're right. See, you should listen to me. I mean, why would you listen to her? She's a woman. And he's like, no, we got to get rid of him. As soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, we should get rid of him. Yeah, never mind. And then I faced the final boss, and she is such a bitch. Like, she is condescending, but it's funny. She's condescending, and she shit talks the Seer because he was her underling, pretty much, and just mocks him over and over. And he feels slightly beat up about it. But you notice that other characters comment is like, you have this fixation to prove yourself to him, because you might have the ability of time, but you don't win arguments. Because an argument, you always have to wait for the other person to talk. So you can act like hot shit, but you are completely insecure about this one character who completely knows what you are. And so when you get to the final stage, usually how it goes is like each of your allies will come in one by one, and then the final antagonist will like berate them and make you hate her even more. There's an achievement where you beat her on turn 1 where none of the team comes in. And what happens is, because you can upgrade skills, I upgraded this skill that Seer has called False Prophet, where he sends out essentially a shadow clone. If you max it, you send out 2 shadow clones. And if you max another skill, they will shoot her on sight. And the way she does it is, if she gets shot, she'll teleport and switch with one character. And if you do that, she'll always switch with your decoy, your shadow clone.
Yeah.
So but part of that skill is, if the clone gets murdered, you get your mana point back. So you can keep on just spamming clones over and over, and then you just position her to the edge of the stage and push her off over and over and over until her lives run out, and then you win. So I just did that. Because there's, when you get invested in this, because he has the most history with her.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine you hate someone and they beat you up by like cloning themselves?
Yeah.
And being like, hey, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Yeah. Because you put out 2 clones, then one of the clones will shoot her, and then she'll swap with the other clone, and then you'll shoot that clone. But you just position her to the edge of the map, and then there's a thing called defenestrate, which is essentially pushing a character out of the map will equal death. But her whole thing is she has 5 lives, she can teleport, she's a pretty tough combatant. But if you just put her if you just position your clones, you know where she's going to have to be. So you just keep on pushing her at the edge of the map and just shoot. And then she just gets pushed off, and then she dies 5 times, and then you're just like, yeah, I beat you. And it was like in my brain, when you're invested in a character story for like an RPG, right? And like one character has a history with that boss, so you want them to be the one to deal the killing blow.
Yeah.
I wanted it because the Overseer has history with her. I wanted him to be the one to just body her solo, because she talks the most smack to him. So in my brain, it was like, no, I'm gonna put you in the ground. I don't need help. Well, aside from me, myself, and I, bitch. Get rocked. And then as soon as she's down in the ground, the medic shoots her in the head. And they're like, you can't just revive her. And it's like, I don't wanna. It's like, do it. And she's like, but why though? Is like, and the justification is, listen, this woman is all ego. Let her live. Let her get humiliated. the way she's done everything, she's gonna lose her powers. She's gonna be rotting in a cell, and she's gonna know that she lost, and there was nothing she could do about it, and that she's a loser.
That's what they
And
also
then
ending.
well, yeah, and the necromantic is just like, yeah, you know what? That you sold me. Yeah, okay. I was gonna wait 58 minutes and then see if I was gonna revive her or not. But you know, all right, fine. And the ending rolled. I highly recommend Tactical Breach Wizards. It's the most pleasant surprise that I got in terms of the games that I got to play. Again, so much dialogue that I've missed and not told you about. So many plot points that I've missed and I haven't told you about. Genuinely a fun way to do a tactics game. You can afford to have your characters killed, but like the way it does it is you can do a rewind feature on your actions, and it's more like a puzzle game than it is an outright tactics game. I can't wait to see what this developer makes next. If they make a Tactical Breach Wizards 2 with a different set of characters, or just like some returning and not, because you at the end you can resolve them and make them choose like what paths in life they go to. I made the Storm Witch and the Necromantic open a PI together. And then the other three characters are like hanging out in the Resistance faction, and yeah, that was Tactical Breach Wizards. I also forgot to put the spoilers thing, so I'm like spoilers done. To be fair, I did spoilers for 2 games, so it's fine to do it now. And then the third game off my list was a game I couldn't finish because it's giving me nausea, even when I did mods and changed the FOV. Outer Wilds, I've given up. I've tried, but it makes me want to vomit.
Yeah.
So,
no, yeah, I understand. Like, so if there's like a straight up use like a physical barrier there, like, yeah.
I listened to all the different advice. I changed the FOV. I tried a third person mod. Then I also tried turning it into window mode and using a manual reticle, and none of it works. It's just the motion is too finicky, and it just completely fucks up my sense of like space. I don't like it. So I'll never get to listen to those
sucks.
people who go like, oh well, Disco Elysium and Outer Wilds is so amazing, but no, don't look at spoilers before you play them. You need to play the real experience, man. I feel bad for Dura. He bought me that game. And he bought the DLC. It's like, you know what the worst? You know what? It's kind of on him. Because I went, oh, you must really think I'm gonna like it. He's like, no, I actually don't think you're gonna like it at all, really. Why the fuck did you buy it for me? He's like, the bit. The bit of existential dread. I'm like, all right. And then I watched like the Game Awards and this Game Awards. Well, I mean the channel's the Game Awards, Summer Games Fest, and stuff like that.
I refuse to say his name correctly.
Keeley?
I'm always going to call him Geoff.
No, Geoff Keeley. Well, he's
Geoff Keighley. That is his name, Geoff Keighley.
I guess the ship name is Geoff Kojima, which, considering their every interaction he has with them, yeah, that's on brand. Did I watch
Kojeoff?
No. Kojeoff. Kojeoff. Co-play Jeoff. Co-op Jeoff time with a sesh with the boys with the crystals. Kojima-san, I got us some magic crystals. Jeff-san, I don't like this.
Jeff-san, I am dating a VTuber now.
The games that I have left are going to be versus Layton, RE3, and Spirit of Justice. RE3 perpetually being the game that I will try pushing aside for the rest of my life.
The Spirit of Justice. I don't know why, but like hearing that name makes me want to like do like an Uwu voice. I don't know why.
You know what the funny thing is?
The
main prosecutor has a gender ambiguous design, and he's probably like the best design that I know of in that game. But if I remember correctly, the Phoenix Wright community just hates him because he's kind of a bitch. But like the only screenshot I ever saw of him, because he's a foreign prosecutor, he goes like, yes, like you would say, how are you doing? Or as you Americans go, what's a crack-a-lacking, homie? And it's just like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. Shut up, dog. Never speak again. Um,
Maybe that's why everyone
yeah,
hates him.
no, apparently it's just because he's like. One friend told me she joked is like get ready for Nayuta. And I'm like, am I gonna like him or am I gonna hate him? And she just sent the smiley face, and then she just like, it's an interesting arc. And I'm like, okay. Um, yeah. And then once I'm done those games, I'm gonna take a break from video games for a while and try being productive in some other aspects of life that I have to attend to. So.
Yeah. I mean, you have to really be a bitch. Like if you like you have to really be a huge bitch if you're like a character in a visual novel, and being hot isn't enough to make people like you.
Yeah, no, like no one argues about his like design. It's really well done. I'll send you what he looks like.
You know, I
Um,
have seen the Crackalakin dude.
yeah, no, just for like the other people. Hold on. His name is Nayuta Sadmari. Where's his fucking art, bro? Not the game sprites. Images. Okay, yeah. He's a really cool design, and as a follow up for Blackwell, like it works. But yeah, this is what he looks like. So really, he also kind of has like the Rottweiler eyebrows, but they're kind of longer than usual. He also somehow has a magical floating scarf,
As one does.
as one does, because he's a monk.
Yeah, there he is. Looking Buddha looking motherfucker.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like the depressed traveling monk or whatever. Like, yeah, the design works.
Yeah. No, yeah,
That's something that I've seen no one cosplay him. No.
and like yeah, like I feel like for like the people who like visual novels specifically are very forgiving of like a lot of horrible shit as long as you're hot.
Yeah.
So like you really have to be a bitch.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all I've got going. So what do we talk about now?
Let me check.
Oh wait, I'm also playing Duck Detective 2 Tuesday, so that'll be neat.
Dog detective.
Duck Detective, so cute, fully voice acted. Thank God.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Candy, maybe you should not have a sound clip of making that noise. It does not. This could go bad. Oh boy. So
You'll be fine.
I don't know.
You'll be fine.
You got like a group who took the sound clip of you going "Why my pee pee hard" like immediately.
Yeah. I guess I did.
Yeah. So what do we talk about now?
I don't know. I feel old.
What?
Like
Where did that come from?
I was just thinking the other day.
I think that was Candy. Oh God. She self-reported. Yeah, you know what? That's on brand for Candy. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking
Go
the other
ahead.
day how Persona 5 came out for the 20th anniversary of like the series, and Persona 5 is almost 10 years old now.
At some point, like, I don't know. I don't get as depressed as you about like those realizations. I don't know why. I think it's just because I accepted kind of.
And it's like
It.
I mean it is crazy that Persona 5 is almost 10 years old by now.
It is weird. It does feel like too recent. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't help the fact that like since its release, it's been getting content like in some sort of
Yeah.
capacity. So like that's
But
probably
like
why.
think about it. Persona 5 is now older than Persona 3 was when Persona 5 came out.
Oof.
Or like almost as old. I don't remember the exact dates, but like that's crazy. Yeah, like, and I think like Nier Automata is like 8 years old by now, stuff like that. It's like, oh my god. The
God,
the, the Witcher 3 is
remember when
9 years old.
Automata was announced and like 90% of people were like, "What is Nier?" And then like the 5 Nier fans were like, "Oh my God."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then everyone became a Nier fan.
Yeah,
The
yeah. It
power
was a
of us.
completely different. It was yeah, yeah. But it was like it's a different time. It feels like a completely different era.
I mean, back then, I feel like between that because they're like on a similar time frame. I feel like Nier Automata and Persona 5 really kind of like created a new era for like acceptance of Japanese games over here. I feel like Persona 5 was like the breaking point for like anime for like
I mean,
Japanese games, like anime games specifically, like being like more like.
2016, were there at least other Japanese? Well, to be fair, because like we.
I mean, that like there were like Japanese games that were popular around here, but they were like more like realistic. They were not like as explicitly anime.
You're right, because like obviously like your Resident Evils and things like catering to a Western audience, but I feel like Devil May Cry and like fighting games in general usually stuck to the Japanese culture aspect enough, and were like still linchpins within game culture. I'm trying to think of more though.
There was definitely a shift, I think.
I think also just like Final Fantasy as well though. And
Yeah, but
just
like
but I do know what you mean.
Final Fantasy is actually like westernizing itself, like at this point.
It's important. Well, I mean, back then, like you would still have like the Japanese like inflections to it, and like SMT as well. But like, I do understand what you mean. Like, where Persona 5 definitely mainstreamed a lot more for like a casual audience on anime
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I can see what you mean. Nier Automata is like the goofiness of like Yoko Taro, but it is like there is a like a Japanese like sort of like obviously that style and the directions into which its humor goes and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Whereas like
I love
Devil
the
May Cry, even if it is Japanese made, you can make arguments on some of the Japaneseisms
yeah.
and direction. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like if 10 years ago you were to tell someone that Xenoblade is the fastest selling series in like the entire Nintendo catalog, they wouldn't
If you
believe you.
told me, yeah, if you told me like 12 years ago that Yakuza would be what it is now, I would not believe you. And I still kind of cared about Yakuza back then too.
I mean, but like they're being helped along by the fact that like Western game developers have no fucking idea what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So like if you want to play good games, you are going to end up play like nowadays. If you want good games, you are going to end up playing Japanese games eventually.
Man, I still hate that era when Japanese games were trying their best to like be Western in a cringe way just because they wanted Call of Duty numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a mess. Fortunately, they recovered.
I'll still never let any game journalist live it down if they literally said DMC reboot was better than regular DMC.
Yeah.
Like no, and there are some who like double down. He's like, now that DMC 5's out, can we all finally just admit that like DMC was good? I'm like, no, you made an article where you were smack talking the old one for the reboot, and now that it's the tables turned for you, you're gonna bitch about it? No.
No,
Go to your corner.
It is like it is not a good game. But I think it's the worst thing it commits is that it's just like fucking annoying.
You also see that like interview bit on like with Adi Shankar going like, "Oh, I thought like I was reviving DMC and that's why like I resent DMC 5 or something."
Oh yeah, he's a bitch.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, the animated sucks. We
literally made a we literally made a whole podcast about how much we fucking hate that anime.
Yeah, but like just the audacity to go like I'm only into this because I thought it was like dead and I would bring it back is like that is so disingenuous to you loving the series.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's not like he follows up on that. He borrows elements from 5. Like he uses Angelo and he uses the cut is it Bury the Light as a theme choice. So he acknowledges that 5 is good. He's just like, why does it matter that you're trying to revive the series? You obviously didn't either, because you went on a completely different. I'm not ready to do this all again. I'll waste another 2 hours just hating on this.
Yeah, it's just like stupid comments, stupid like.
Well, it stings more just because like it just adds on top of something that failed.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
I think he just trying desperately to get like the fans to like him. Like, what do I say to like make the Devil May Cry fans like me?
Shankar is just a weirdly opinionated dude that has like that sometimes misses the mark on some of his like outlooks. Like it's been like that for a while. He does make some great like aesthetic direction and like other things like that, but like when it comes to writing, it's like it's a bit tough. Like he worked like Castlevania worked because it's Castlevania 3. It's so bare bones.
Yeah.
But like DMC has enough established within it, so like yeah.
Yeah, that you can actually like start like because like you there really is like no way to like mischaracterize like characters when for I'm sorry as simple as Castlevania 3.
Yeah, no, because like they didn't have any like you could say the side work, sure. You could also like go like technically a la carte off of Symphony of the Night, but like that's a different point in his life. You can have some leeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess like that is one of the advantages of having like a character that is immortal. You can just like go back 200 years and be like, yeah, they're different because they change a lot in 200 years.
Alucard is still an idiot. Like he moves to Japan and he goes by Mr. Arikado. And it's like what's the point of a fake identity when you're taking the piss?
I mean,
Like,
maybe that was
Alucard?
the
Is
point.
that you?
Maybe he just thought it was funny.
I'm Arikado. I am Mr. Arikado, and I am the son of your previous incarnation, Soma Cruz. So like I'm your dad? Don't say that, please. Weirds me out.
I'm not going to call you daddy, Santa Cruz.
Someone goes like someone goes like go to your room. Arikado.
Go to your room, you're grounded.
I am over millennia older than you.
But I'm your dad.
Yeah, but I'm your dad. Yeah. Don't talk back.
Technically, this castle is mine. My house, my rules.
You see Soma talking to his girlfriend and he just goes like, "You're not my real mom."
Yeah.
I think it's also hinted that like the art like Soma's like girlfriend might also be a reincarnation of Dracula's wife. I don't remember. Dracula has the
How cute.
worst.
How cute. He got a chance to murder his wife all over again. Actually, no, he didn't
Like,
kill his wife. It was someone else.
No, he didn't. No, Dracula's life in the span of Castlevania goes from kind of simple to tragic to convoluted and really stupid. Because as soon as the original game came out, well, a quote unquote original game, God, what's the 3D one with
Lament of
Leon
Innocence?
Belmont? Yeah, Lament of Innocence. As soon as we add Lament of Innocence into this equation,
Oh yeah, like
Like-
the part about Dracula actually being like a dude called Matthias Conquest.
yeah, Matthias, yeah, Kronkvist, and like he's just like, hey, I had Dracula's origin story before before the events of Castlevania, so this has happened to me twice, which makes
Yeah.
me look kind of dumb.
Yeah, I was going to say that like calling him like Matthias Conquest is a stupid name.
I don't think it's Conquest. I think it's like Kronkvist or something.
Like it's a fucking stupid. But then I remember
Yeah,
like
it is.
I was watching like a documentary about like the days before the First World War started.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Bryce Papenbrook died? No way. What the fuck?
Let me check. Did he? I don't see.
I don't see it. I'm searching for it. What was your source?
Huh?
I don't see. No, I don't see.
Why are my notifications still doing the double thing? I have tried everything to fix my fucking notifications to do like to fix the double thing, and it don't fucking work.
He's like 39 too. He's not that old. That's a good one. I mean, to be fair, Samurai, that's really smart because like Bryce Papenbrook is such a random name to pull out.
Yeah, it's like I mean like yeah, like we weren't even talking about like anything about him, so he's like maybe.
So it's like, yeah, going in the realm of possibility is just like that's such a weird name to pull out and lie about his death.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, good on you.
Yeah, you got us.
What were we talking about before this? You
Yeah,
would
it
have
would.
cried? Yeah, I would have
Yeah,
too.
it would have been a
Yeah, because
bummer. It would have
he's a
been very
talented
sad.
voice actor. Because like I was like, he's not that old. That would mean like something really sad happened. I don't want that to
Yeah,
happen.
like when what was his name? I don't remember. The guy who voiced the novel guy on Fire Emblem Three Houses. I don't remember his name. Let me find the name. Yeah,
I'm just looking.
When Billy Kamets passed, like that was so fucking like so a fucking
Yeah,
bummer. Like I remember like the whole thing. I was like around the time will be around the passing of Billy Kamets. Do you remember that? It was
yeah.
yeah, it was like really sad, like all around.
I remember also like just even when it's like an older voice actor and it's just like they're just so iconic and ingrained in your childhood. Like when Kevin Conroy passed away too, I was just like, oh bummer,
Yeah,
because it's like that's the voice of Batman, like
and now
the
his last
definitive.
role is a shitty ass anime. That's sad.
Yeah, yeah. That's his legacy. Well,
Actually,
no,
thank you for
Batman
the
will
follow,
always live.
Samurai. I was distracted and I didn't see it. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow.
Uh, what we were talking about before that?
I don't know actually.
Huh.
We went from the DMC animated. We talked about like the
Oh yeah, we were
mainstream.
talking about
Yeah.
like how stupid the name Matthias Conquistist.
Oh yeah, Castlevania.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I was thinking about like I was going to say something about that name being stupid, but then I remember um
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a documentary about I'm not that old.
Dementia's kicking. Dementia's kicking in.
I was watching a documentary about like the days before the First World War started. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a documentary about that,
Move this mic over and over. Yeah, go ahead.
and they were talking about like before the war started because people think about like people might be inclined to think that they killed the guy, they killed the Archduke, and then immediately it like went off, right? Was that that's not how it happened. They killed the Duke, and then there was a lot of politicking for like 2 weeks, and then it started
Yeah.
because Germany invaded Belgium. Uh, so like between those 2 weeks, there was a lot of people trying to stop the war from happening. And one of those people was like a French politician that was like very pacifist, and he was like trying to like get meetings going, get like diplomacy going, right? Like desperately, like like in those 2 weeks, he was trying like anything he could to like stop the war. Because he knew that like everyone was like getting ready to like go into war, but like he thought he had a chance. He was trying, but then he got murdered. He got shot in like the middle of the street, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy who shot him, his last name was literally villain.
I'm
Like
nodding my head no.
actually
It's
like
so dumb.
actually like literally like, and that is real life. That is not a story. That is like if you write that into like a story, they will tell you that is like too much, too on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is that. But like sometimes real life is like that. Sometimes you get
Okay.
shot, and it's a guy called like fucking. Yeah. That's okay. I have a very strong accent. That's normal.
It's very cute.
If at any point you want me to repeat myself, just like ask me. Just like ask, and I will.
For those that are wondering about Castlevania and what me and Candy are talking about, if you watch the animated series or you just know the main timeline, Dracula pretty much is kind of an apathetic, superpowered vampire that kind of just goes hellbent crazy again when his wife dies.
Yeah.
Um, so he wages war on humanity. But then Lament of Innocence is his origin story, in which he was just a guy and his wife died, and then he renounced God and became an evil immortal vampire. So this is like a recurring he's the Doofenshmirtz meme. He's just a Doofenshmirtz meme. If I had a nickel for every time my wife died and I decided to commit genocide, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Like,
Yeah.
why did you do this to him? You didn't need this.
Yeah. What if? Well, I mean, honestly, it would have been like funnier if he was just like bad, like an evil dude, and he saw the power and went like, "Whoa, power!"
Yeah, like to be fair, it's so they tie in him and the Belmonts forever
Yeah,
because Leon's just like, oh my clan will always hunt you down and will get stronger each generation, which is true. Belmonts get more broken every generation.
yeah, and then you get to Julius, and he's just like an actual god.
Yeah, like he can literally wreck the Chaos Realm on his own
Yeah. Uh,
solo,
should you
low
watch
diff.
Castlevania? I mean, I did watch the first two seasons, and I thought they were good. I haven't watched any of the
I watched
rest.
the entire of the first series. It stays strong till the very end. I say it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
I have
it's
not
good.
watched I have not watched Nocturne, so I have no particular opinions about it. I've heard mixed things. So yeah.
All I know about Nocturne is that the mom of the protagonist is really hot.
No, I mean you just made female Richter and it awoken things in me.
Yeah, female
Yeah.
Richter with like short hair, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew someone was going to make that joke. I was thinking about it.
I must be that tired because it completely flew over my head.
I wasn't going to say it, but I was thinking.
You have no idea how giddy I am. Oh, that's so funny.
No, but like,
Fuck.
yeah, like the Castlevania chronology is a mess. But I really love like
Yeah.
I really love that like Julius is like this like annoyed bored dude who could like kill God.
Yeah.
Like
Because don't get it twisted. Like Dracula is Dracula, but Dracula is like the envoy of all chaos. He is essentially like a god.
yeah, and
Yeah, he's like
Julius is like, you a bitch. Fuck off.
yeah, yeah, low div, idiot, and he backs it up.
Yeah, like yeah, that what we were talking about earlier. The difference between boasting and like and like arrogance.
Yeah,
It's like you can actually put it
Julius
off.
just, Julius just lays it down. Like if Julius literally went, I could eradicate everything. I'd be like, bet you're right.
Yeah, like it's one of those characters. Like um, it's one of those characters. Is like we're lucky. We're lucky. He's like on that side
Yeah.
because if he chose, he he
Mm.
he would kill everyone.
Have you watched any of the new episodes for Fire Force? I have. I dropped Fire Force for quite a long time. I might catch back up with it. I do like the author's other work, Soul Eater, and I did complete that both in manga and anime, so I will come back to
Uh,
it at some point.
and I don't watch a lot of anime because I have a very short attention span.
That's fair. I also wanted to watch. There's a Chinese anime that came out, and apparently, like the animation's really good. It's called My Hero X. Um,
Oh,
so I might check it out. It's like the animation is really on point. It's crazy.
yeah.
No, why? It's just one of those things where like I was really busy in my life and just like rotating on the schedule, and then once you miss a couple episodes, it gets lower on your priority.
Ah,
And
you
you
were watching
forget.
it when I was there, while it was airing.
Yeah, that was mostly
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that happens. If you're watching something while it's airing and you miss an episode and you're busy, it's like, yeah, I'm never going to catch up.
And it was just like continuously getting busy, and then it just kind of went to the back of my mind, and then I just looked at other stuff. So,
Yeah,
I between the two of us, I'm probably gonna watch more anime than Candy, but like even then, I don't watch anime too much and on my given time because I just tend to gravitate towards video games more.
yeah,
But I will read manga because mostly manga is just like really fast to read. So
yeah. I'd like to watch more anime, but my ADHD is so bad that I cannot sit down and watch a fucking TV episode.
honestly, I've thought about like our server and wondering if we should do watch nights, but honestly, not everyone is even into anime, so I don't know if it because I know Dura would probably join in, Flem maybe,
Yeah,
Patchy maybe, but like even then, also the fact that like all of our time zones are just clashing. One Punch
yeah.
Man, yeah, One Punch Man's awesome. Garo is like the goat.
All I know about One Punch Man is that really hot lady with the like black hair.
Oh, Fubuki?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're not wrong. You're right. You're 100% right. What short hair does to a man, I can't complete sentences.
Yeah. It's like every now and then I open Twitter and it's just like it just happens. Like there are seasons where I open Twitter and it's just like art of her, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I don't even like
lot of good,
like
lot of good cosplay though.
yeah, I don't even like her color scheme outright, but she's still cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, because she has like green tint, because it alludes to the fact of who her sister is, but it's like even though green is one of my not as favorite colors, like she looks cool.
it's very hard to make green look good.
I don't know, green and yellow like are usually like my least favorite colors in terms of color design. Like Athena Sykes is walking around and I'm like, my god, you are a banana girl. Like you look really weird.
Yeah, but like the thing about green is that like there is a particular point on like the intensity and the saturation, and if you go like
Mhm.
below or over that, it stops working. Because if you go
Yeah.
on, if you go under that, it looks brown and like shit. If you go
Mhm.
over that, it looks sickly and like puke.
Well, I mean, there's the whole color theory thing, and just like the most popular colors are almost always going to be blue and red, and like you'll get like some odd variations like purple and stuff like that, and easy
Yeah,
accessory stuff like black and white. Like you can't go wrong with those.
yeah,
But it's like certain odd colors you really need to work around it and figure out if it's worth making them pronounced. Because like yellow, I'm not big on, but I like orange. But even then, orange in like a large amount is like still very loud.
yeah.
So yeah.
But I cannot criticize Athena. I cannot because I remember when I was
Well,
growing
she's
up.
supposed to be the RBY with the lawyers, right? So.
No, but like when I was growing up, I had like a thing that I called the Orange Day,
Oh yeah, you told me about it.
and that means that like like one day of every week I will wear nothing but orange, and I did it for like a year.
I like orange. I just yeah. Oh yeah, they also introduced a love interest for Apollo in Dual Destinies, because that reminded me of like red because Apollo's red, and yellow, orange because Athena. And her whole thing is whenever she talks about Apollo, she just knits hearts. And then I looked at her, I'm like, oh, you poor woman, you're doomed. You're a Capcom woman who has romantic feelings. This will never work out.
Yeah.
You're doomed to be single forever. Look at any RE character. You're done. You're cooked.
Speaking of that, any like preliminary opinions on the new girl from Resident Evil
She
9?
sits. She sits at like L. I have a soft spot for glasses, short hair. I'm not that
She
into blondes.
she looks kind of messy, and I like that.
Yeah, I do like unkempt. I like it's relatable. It's approachable.
Yeah, yeah. It's like yeah. You understand me. You understand me.
Yeah, yeah. You're a mess too. There's something attractive about
Yeah.
like refined woman. It's like it's too good for me. It's like mess. It's like no, we're in the same
Oh yeah.
category.
We are two pigs and shit. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oink oink, little baby. It's like I don't know, but that reminds me of this piece of wisdom I heard the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That is that like it doesn't matter how you look, if you can make a girl laugh hard enough, because if she's always laughing, she's going to have her eyes closed and she's not going to be able to see how ugly you are.
Yeah, I've been working on that strategy for a long time, perfecting it, and it's kind of worked because I'm married to a lesbian. So really, it's an OP strat. It breaks meta.
Yeah,
Meta breaking move.
I was thinking like, why am I hungry? And then I remembered I haven't had dinner yet. I'm stupid.
Yeah, you ate last podcast. I ate right before the podcast. I didn't. I thought you already ate.
I was eating a banana.
Mm.
I know I don't look like
Mm.
it, but every now and then I eat stuff that is like kind of healthy. Sometimes.
Do you put like bananas in your cereal? You know those people who do that.
Yeah, I do. It's nice.
You do? Yeah, I do it with cornflakes. I don't do it with everything though. I know some weird people who do it with like Cocoa Puffs, and I'm like, that feels wrong.
I mean, I mostly only eat cornflakes.
Yeah. But
so it
like,
works.
true. I mean, like, yeah, I'll use it with cornflakes. Nothing else though. To be fair, I haven't had other cereals in a long time.
Yeah,
I haven't had Fruit Loops. I haven't had Cocoa Puffs. I haven't had Nesquik. I haven't had Reese Puffs, etc., etc.
I haven't had cereal in a while actually.
Also, you know what? You know what I hate? I hate people who are like, a food should be like age restricted, and it's just like, what? What are you on about? They're like, oh, if you're a kid if you eat cereal. I'm like, you do know like in ancient Egypt they would just eat cereal, right?
Yeah,
Because it's just convenient. Like, what are these
and,
stupid
even if, and even if
esoteric?
and even if and even if that, like, do you have no whimsy?
Yeah, I think I also saw like a stupid article that was like, get real. Why are you putting ketchup on your hot dogs? Like, because it's my hot dog. I paid for it. And
Yeah,
ketchup is good. Why are you all hating on ketchup suddenly?
let me eat my fucking hot dog, dog.
Yeah, like I'll eat a hot dog with ketchup, spicy mustard, sriracha, and bacon bits.
Because it's my
Like
fucking
it's
hot
good.
dog.
It's my hot dog. Oh, sometimes I'll even put relish too. I'm one of those people, but like I don't care. It's like I paid for it. I ate it. Like sure, I'll make fun of pineapple on pizza because that's just a funny. That's an eternal funny debate. But it's like my mom orders it. I'll
Yeah, I
still
mean too.
eat it.
Like that's funny.
Yeah.
Like whenever we have pizza and we always like order like portions, and like
Mm-hmm.
there are like 4 slices that are like pepperoni or like ham that are for me, and everything else is like with pineapple.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only
It's like
person here that doesn't eat like pineapple on pizza.
yeah, what I do is like I don't like it. So like I'll take the pineapples off and then I'll put them on the remaining slices of pizza because I know my mom will enjoy it anyway. And I just eat that because it's still like bacon crumble, ham, and I forget the rest.
Pew pew pew. Hello.
Hello. Trying to think of other talking about you getting hungry. Like we're phasing.
Yeah. Well, actually,
It
like
was a busy week.
now that we're talking about hot dogs,
Mm-hmm.
now that we're talking about hot dogs, what the fuck is a chili dog? I have never seen that. Is that just like a
You
hot dog
mean
with chili on top?
yes? What do you?
I have never seen one. We don't have those around here.
But the name is like self-explanatory, Candy.
You never know with English.
True. True.
What's up, figure?
It, there's chili. You know them?
Yeah, yeah. They go by another
Oh.
name, but like they're on
Oh,
like another server. I mean, I
oh, that's
recognize
cool.
them.
Um, there's also chili cheese dogs. I don't like vegetable chili on my hot dog because there's a chili that's just like beans with vegetable chili. I like meat chili on my hot
Wow,
dog.
beans.
Yeah. Um,
I'm a Latina that doesn't like beans. I feel like that's a scene. I feel like I'm going to
that's
get
fine.
cancelled when I say that I don't like beans.
I don't know why I thought about it, but like as soon as
What?
because we keep saying the whole wife and husband thing, and I'm just my brain's doing alliteration. And it's like my Latino lesbian lover is just a out of context series of words
My
that
Latino
will
lesbian
raise
lover who doesn't
questions.
like beans.
She's not a legumes woman.
Yeah. I don't know,
They're
like
they're fine for protein.
I don't know, like it's so weird. I remember my dad would eat beans with banana, and he was like, huh?
Ew.
And he was like, huh?
You know the whole British like fixation on like beans with toast, and it just like for some reason just like it looks appalling. While
Yeah,
being told it's fine, but it's like the way they cook the beans, it looks like some sort of organ. It's
yeah.
just like, gotta help her with their bean.
No, like I remember my dad. I remember my dad would eat like beans with banana, and I would think like I would just like feel bad for
No,
my
I
mom
I
because she's going
genuinely
to have
think
to.
that's kind of gross.
I would just feel bad for my mom because she's going to have to deal with that flatulence later.
You know what? Like, I think beans are one of the few foods like I still can't stand. Like lima beans, I can't eat lima beans. The smell just destroys. I have a very strong sense of smell for people.
I don't even know
I
the
don't know,
fucking
but it's
difference
but
between like
like, oh
all the different kinds of
god.
beans. For
There's
me, it's
some where
just
it's like they're
bean.
kind. There's somewhere it's like obviously in Mexican cuisine where like I'll have refried beans in my burrito, like sure, but like it's not a go-to. I heard flicking it does one. Oh god, you guys are comboing.
Are you already talking about beans again?
Because you're like I'm a Latino who doesn't like beans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like Shadow the Hedgehog so much. He's my spirit animal. He loves Latinas. I still find it
I
funny
think
that
I
the voice
misclicked
actor
something.
just said that.
Okay. Okay, I didn't break anything.
Is there any okay? We covered all the news. We covered our weeks.
Yeah.
Any other statements? Any other things that you're thinking of? Oh, okay. You know what? What are you planning to do for the next week, for the oncoming week?
My plans for the
You
next
have,
week are like, if possible, to like stream every day and bomb rush the fucking game. Get at least one ending this week.
you really want to get to P5 as soon as you can, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully I will have time.
My
I don't know.
my my hope is to finish Verse Layton, sorry, RE3 Verse Layton and Spirit of Justice by the end of the week. Or maybe I'll just like partially do Spirit of Justice because I have so many other things going on that I might only be able to do like 2 hours a day, and that's gonna eat the rest of my time. Um, been doing part-time work, studying for driver's exam.
Oh, you're going to get a license?
Yeah, because I need. It's just useful to have ID and just drive around. But to be fair, I'd have to go to driver school and then do 8 months, and then I could drive, which is just like frustrating. But I mean, it becomes convenient.
I wonder if I'm allowed to have a license.
You remember when like Super Best Friends used to do machinima episodes?
Yeah.
There's one episode of the LA Noir thing where Pat's driving, and then Matt just goes, "Oh, you should just like go on the sidewalk. Any one of them could be a potential murderer." And he's like, "You're spitting some crazy philosophy right now, man. That's you." But the problem is you aren't in the passenger seat. You're in the driver's seat, and that changes that entire conversation.
Eto. Eto.
Esto ble.
Yeah.
That's what she says when she gets arrested. Esto ble.
Yeah. It's like I'm in like the fucking like interrogation room. And he's like, 10 people died today. What do you have to say for yourself? Uh, eto. ¿Qué?
How to say you're a VTuber without saying you're a VTuber.
I have actually done the eto play in real life before.
I
And
know some people who have to.
I caught myself doing that, and I was like, oh, why am I doing that? Why am I doing this?
Oh, I think the
I'm
weirdest
27
thing
years old. Why am I doing this?
I've talked to people who are like in fandoms, and like I don't usually I won't say I'm making fun of her, but it was just like there was an awkward situation where one was doing the whole like TikTok like expressive animation like emoting
Oh
that like
yeah, the
all
thing that made
started
me
because of that girl who
that made me
did
want to
the
punch them.
Tracer Overwatch thing. Yeah, because of that one girl who did the Tracer Overwatch emoting thing. I remember
Uh,
talking to a girl who was unironically doing that, and every bit of my body was rejecting it, like at a violent rate. But I didn't want to be mean to her because it was clear like she was being unironic about it, and like she wasn't hurting anyone, but it's just like every part of my body is just like stop, please stop.
Please don't do this.
Good God, woman, don't.
I don't
We
know.
need to
Like
give you the power to read the room.
I don't know. I'm generally like I don't know. I'm generally like very much just like letting people do their thing. I don't find like a lot of people like cringeworthy or anything like that. But that particular kind of like movement, it just annoys me so much. I don't know why.
It does. I think it's mostly just because of the excessive amount of TikToks that go cringe because of it.
I don't know. It really really annoys me.
Like again, I'm not the type of person who would go like who would point at the person, laugh at them, or like humiliate them because I think that's like fucked up. But it's just like another part of you is just like please just stop. This is so weirdly uncomfortable. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
it's like I don't want to be mean, but like there's also like this clip. It reminds me of this clip of like a video essayist called Dan Olson. I don't even remember what he was talking about, but at some point he just stops the review and go like cringe. It's cringe. There is no other word for that. It's making me cringe.
Mm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I was
I
looking
mean,
like
to be, yeah.
yeah, what was I going to say?
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was looking through like my
I get secondhand embarrassment a lot. I do. I absolutely get secondhand embarrassment.
I don't.
I I 10,000% do. I cannot like watch any sort of thing where a person gets humiliated because I will take soul damage.
I just laugh.
I can't do it because like my brain is just like, oh my god.
That's one of the things that worry my mom the most when we like go out together. Is that something horrible is going to happen in front of us, and I'm just going to start laughing, and I'm going to get punched because of that.
Because like I still to this day will remember embarrassing memories, and what I do when I remember embarrassing memories is like I will do a short scream. I'll go like and I'll shake my head. And when I do that, my mom goes like, "Why are you doing that?" And I'm just like, "Oh, a fly flew into my eye." And she's like, "That's been happening to you every day for the past 20 years." Like it's a persistent fly, mom.
Did you ever call a teacher dad or mom?
No, I never
I
did.
thought that was a universal experience.
No, I've never called a teacher mom or dad.
Oh, hey,
Do you
speaking.
fast forward the parts in shows and movies as well? I do. If it's going to be extremely embarrassing for a character and the whole point is witnessing the cringe, I can't do it. Yeah, silent.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I
Oh,
can't do it.
speaking of just opening a folder and fighting for wiki art.
What were you gonna say beforehand though? Oh, oh, those legs. God damn.
Yeah, I cannot show you chat, but like. No, what I want to say, I was just checking through like my music folder, and I was thinking, I was like, like every now and like there are like some just things that are just like really small things that you really appreciate and really make you happy, or like, and for me one of those things is when, because I listen to a lot of soundtracks, and for me one of those things that it just like makes me like silly happy is when you have a soundtrack, and when you have a soundtrack and instead of using like the same like art for as the poster or something like that, you actually have like
Unique art.
like unique art, and like the characters are doing something like music related.
Oh yeah, Haikyuu does that. They're in like they're cleaning the classroom and they're each using the cleaning equipment like instruments. It's very cute.
Yeah, I love when they do that. I find it very
Yeah.
endearing, and it's every time I see a cover like that, I'm like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
like,
no, I genuinely think that's a cute thing.
Like especially when like a game is like built around like a big ensemble cast that you're supposed to like get to like, and they're just like chilling and like doing funny things like around like I really like the Octopath Traveler soundtracks. Like the covers for the soundtracks are really like endearing.
I think the other thing is like during
Like
the game,
look at this one. It's like that's great. I love that one.
Yeah,
It's like he's playing the piano and everyone else is like farting around. He's like, yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. I think something adjacent to that is like the days of like game manuals, where like you could open them up and they'd have either lore drops or like the cute comics of the characters and different interactions and stuff in it.
What the fuck is a JFIF?
I assume it's like some sort of image format.
Yeah, they need to stop.
Like,
they need to stop inventing image formats. We have enough.
Yeah, too. But yeah, no, I used to miss that with like game manuals. Is just like you would have like some lore in them sometimes, and characterization and trivia notes, and then sometimes they'd have like actual comics of the characters doing just cute mundane things or just like explaining stuff about their characterization, which is just genuinely fun. Oh, that's a cute cover.
Yeah,
of just like them as a traveling band. Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah, and like
them have the maps of the world. Yeah,
I don't know. Like I feel like when a game is like, even if it's like not canon, a lot of context. When a game is like a big ensemble cast, it does pay to like have some art or some like just like content of them just like chilling and doing like silly stuff.
Yeah, no, it doesn't necessarily like always have to be canon. Like just if it's a fun idea, like people make headcanons on what people are going to be doing on their free time anyway. So
Yeah,
I mean, there was the one with Phoenix Wright where Gumshoe is like, what you know how in Ace Attorney there's always confetti if you win,
yeah,
like when you get the not guilty for it. It's canonically revealed that Gumshoe goes home and cuts up confetti, and he's the one throwing it in the courtroom when you win. But when Edgeworth wins, because Edgeworth's his boss and he has such a man crush on Edgeworth, he like pulls in fireworks inside and even more confetti and celebratory banners that Edgeworth won a case.
yeah. No, yeah, it's just like yeah, when you have a big cast like that, it's just like they just don't like hang around and be silly every now and then. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
fine. I also really like, but like this whole idea of like the soundtrack being like a little bit of like music theme art is like great, but it's especially valuable when you have like when there is like a reason for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When there is like an actual reason for the sound for like the art to be like that, like and like the first example I'm thinking on the top of my head is like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Um, because they have like again like a unique piece of art for the soundtrack, which is like also like just like the group hanging out while someone plays music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a very like enduring piece of art, like just like the
Oh, that's
campfire
sweet.
and the
Yeah.
flutes and stuff like that. But the thing is like this is important. Like there is like the game actually has a good reason for like that art existing, because the flutes they play are like an actual like integral part of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike unlike the thing because like they are like something like the two characters that are playing the flutes, which are like the two like main protagonists, are something called like an overseer. And like in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, there is this whole thing about like death and rebirth, where like everyone is like has to live a certain number of cycles, and they are supposed to like spend all of the cycles like getting on war and dying in like battles and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
the job of the overseers is to like go to the corpses and play a song on the flute, and that like lets their energy like go back to the clocks and like go for another cycle.
Oh, that's cool.
So like there is like an actual reason for the flutes to like be important in the game. So like of course they're going to have art of them playing the flutes for the soundtrack. And also it helps that in the soundtrack there is a lot of flutes. Like there are actually like a lot of flutes in the game. And actually like you know like the flute guy from the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he showed up, he was playing a song from Xenoblade.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and like something very interesting about that part is that like the flutes they use in the game are actually like unique.
Mm-hmm.
And like custom made by the composer. And
Okay.
they are like a brand new kind of flute. They don't sound like exactly like anything else. They are like custom made, like technically like a completely new kind of instrument. And there are only two of them.
Oh damn.
There are only two of them, like in real life, and they actually like chipped one of them to the guy on the Game Awards when he was playing it. So he was
Oh,
actually
that's
playing it on like
awesome.
one of the real flutes.
Well, he should play the flute for us because this podcast will die this week and then be reborn next week. But before that, check out my YouTube at youtube.com/@nocturne or the Twitch in the title of this podcast. If you want to see more content from Candy, just follow her on Twitch or watch her many, many streams that she's planning this week because she's going to bash through 100 line as fast as possible.
At least
Also,
one ending,
subscribe to
man.
her
At least one ending.
subscribe to her YouTube to see more clips and broadcasts, as well as the podcast. And if you want a little more of Candy, the insights, looking into her mind, check her Blue Sky for whatever she'll post on there, be it art. Don't check her likes, as she's mentioned, and she might say some unhinged shit. But if you want more unhinged shit, go to her Discord in real time. And Yeah, you'll wish someone plays the flute for you after some of the shit she says, but it'll be fine. The bot will leave all the links provided, and if you have such feedback for the podcast, like Candy, your turn.
Uh, you have so feedback for the podcast that stop looking at porn while you are doing the podcast.
You, have you been doing that? Anyway, in which I'll say she probably should, and also I'm concerned that she can do it so stealthily.
I'm a professional.
But you're, yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Stay safe, happy, and have a wonderful week, everyone. See you next Saturday. Love you, Candy. Bye. Woo,
Love you too.
I'm
Bye
going to
bye.
bed. Woo.
He's going to sleep. Listen, I don't moan. I don't moan because I'm discreet, because I'm a professional. So if you heard moaning, that was someone else. If you heard moaning, that was someone else. Because I'm discreet. I'm a professional. Remember that. Yeah, he's going to sleep. He's going to sleep because we live in a very weird house. We live in a very weird house, and like for some reason he's like on a different, like 1 hour ahead of me, despite the fact that we live in the same house. Really weird. Totally. But yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by. Again, sorry for like no streams this week. He was very messy, very busy, and I'm not been like feeling like great either. So yeah, it's been like but hopefully I can like catch up next week. Hopefully we'll maybe I don't know, like because there is a game that they announced on the thing yesterday that has a demo, and I want to play the demo of that game because it looked really interesting. So maybe I'll do a short stream tomorrow to check that demo. I don't know. It's a demo. It's not going to be very long, so maybe I can just maybe I can just like tack it onto the stream on Monday. I'll see how that goes. But yeah, as usual, thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Yeah, I hope you have a good day, good night, good rest of your time zone, and I'll see you again. Maybe not guaranteed. Tomorrow, hopefully on Monday. So yeah, thank you everyone. Hope you had a good time. Have a good rest of your time zone, and I'll see you again soonish. I think. I hope. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh.